Speak!
Okay. Why do I need a consent all of a sudden?
I mean, consent should always be there. Welcome to a very woke episode of Tumbleweeds and Tombstones.
Yes. Hi, everybody.
Literally, there's a splash screen I never seen before. Like, you need consent. Like, I already have consent to do this. To give you consent.
And a voice that suddenly goes, "You're being recorded."
Also, it was like audio in my ear too.
Tumbleweeds and Tombstones, the game most watched by the CIA.
Well, I think our audience figured our opening's not happening the way it normally does today.
Yes, guys. For tradition's sake, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tumbleweeds and Tombstones, the game where each week my players try to accuse me of killing them, and I have to remind them that they're already dead.
This week we mourn the loss of Chad's beard.
It was a lovely beard indeed.
Hair today, gone tomorrow.
You know what?
Yeah.
It is hot. It is hot, and I support your decision to shave it.
It's the masks, man. It's hard to wear it for like 8-9 hours and running.
No, trust me. That's why I shaved for the longest time. I'm actually just getting used to having
I need
again.
a breath of fresh air sometimes, and I look sexy without a beard.
I just need beard to separate the layer of fat from here to here. This way, it looks like I have a jawline.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Well, I know you all joined this game about vampires to learn about our grooming techniques and hygienic purposes, but thank you, those who have been patient. Some of you may have noticed that we were actually missing a episode 79. That will be posted relatively shortly. Life kind of got in the way a little bit.
It's
and
my
then
fault.
We had to take a hiatus.
I got a new job, and we had life events and blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry. I will post it.
Damn you and your real life experiences. And tonight we are sad because this might be the first game for a little bit that we are missing our favorite cowboy, Walter. Lyman is actually traveling cross country to his new home. He is leaving California. So we wish him very well and hope that he does well once he settles. But hopefully we can get him back playing again once everything kind of gets situated on that end. In the meantime, let's go ahead and jump into it with a little bit of a recap from the last time we played 2 weeks ago. So when last we got together, you guys were hightailing it away from the well, where you had found there was an opening in a tunnel leading to this decomposing mass of infected plague rats, as well as some rodents of unusual size that were diseased and pustule boils on them that Liam narrowly escaped, and the group was able to get out of the well, dispatch the big rats, and Liam being able to lead the group to where the surface area was above where this underground cavern he believes was, all the time trying to avoid the townspeople that heard the gunshots and the fire happening in the middle of town. You guys found a large tree that seemed to mark the spot where the cavern was, and utilized Josephine's ability to meld with the earth, as she was the only one amongst your group who was not afraid of fire, as you guys all hightailed it away from where the large explosion was going to be, as she ignited the dynamite and caused a extremely large sinkhole in the outskirts of town. You notice almost instantly that the presence you were feeling of the elder seemed to dissipate, seeming that the anchor that Henry had told you all about was indeed destroyed, and thus his power was ebbing away from the town, not able to reach this far away from his point of origin. You all made it back to the homestead. Josephine decided that she was going to head back home and get some rest and then start working on the project that you have for her, well, one of several, to build a Gatling gun from the blueprints you received from your employer, Lord Pembroke, and mount it to the back of the carriage that you guys had earned from Mr. Black. You got back, and Atris realized that she was constantly going to be harassed by this djinn that she had acquired on your last mission until she finally converses with it. She makes a wish to be rid of her clan's curse, the inability to consume vitae without extreme power or pain to her, hoping that there would be no ill effects to this wish in return for releasing the djinn into the universe to be its own master.
Mm-hmm.
The
See how Sean
repercussions.
says words there? Sean says words that I don't like there.
Mm-hmm.
Adele decided to take a look at one of the other artifacts that you guys had acquired from Cassini, which was a monocle, which upon close inspection had very small engravings along the edge of it. Liam used it to look around and saw that it allowed you to see the dead. Noticing that a couple of them happened to be following Walter, including what Liam assumed to be the wife and child Walter had when he was still mortal. The group then kind of went their own way for a little bit, going to their rooms, going to relax. Waya going up to his room to try and decide how to contact his sire, maybe asking for advice for the upcoming conflict with the Lupines, maybe to talk about a little bit of what he's been personally going through lately. Liam decided to have an honest conversation with Walter and explain what he saw. Walter being very distressed that his past loved ones have not seemed to move on from this plane of existence, and took the monocle from Liam, deciding what he's going to do with it later on. Other than that, you guys decide to bed down for the dawn, knowing that you still have a couple of days before Asmodeus, one of the generals of Lord Pembroke, who is the weapons specialist of this vampiric lord, will be arriving in town to help you guys with the upcoming conflict against the Lupines. The steel that Liam was able to convince his sire of providing was delivered. Josephine sent word that she started construction on what you needed her to make, and that's pretty much where we left off, unless I'm forgetting something. It's been 2 weeks.
I think that's all right.
That's it.
Minus Liam beating a motherfucker with another motherfucker and Noah tossing a giant ratchet rat at a force field and catapulting it. Oh, I don't remember something.
Murder bait.
Murder base, yes.
Yes, that is right. Adele did also use her abilities on the Chinese vase that was there. And through her vision saw that there was something about the vase that allowed for, well, a great amount of death and destruction.
And we know it's all about that face.
Yes. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into tonight's episode of Tumbleweeds and Tombstones.
Yeah.
You all wake up. You all spend a blood.
I don't want to spend blood.
I don't want to wake
Stay
up.
dead.
You are all in your homestead. It's relatively early, around 7 o'clock at night. The night is yours. What do you all want to do?
Is Bartleby home?
Yeah. I mean, you had him stick around, so he's usually pretty close.
Oh, no, I know. I just didn't know if he was in town or if he actually was currently in the homestead.
You look around, and he seems to be downstairs having something of a late dinner, having cooked himself something.
Yeah. My friend, by any chance, have you just been into town today at all? I'm just curious if what we did last night had any sort of impact.
Well, yes. I'll say that I noticed less of those rats around. I mean, people are still sick, but it doesn't seem like any new cases are happening from what I asked around.
Oh, that's good to know.
There's a lot of talk about a shootout near the well, and the giant sinkhole that seems to be where the old oak tree used to be.
No idea how that happened.
Yes, I'm sure it's a great mystery to us all.
The most common guess is that there was a smuggler's bootlegging Stillwell somewhere around there, and that it blew up.
Oh, that's as good a story as any. Oh. And Liam reaches into his pocket. If I pull out the little crystal that I had, I know that it was lit up when I went into the cave, but is it dark black now from the ichor?
You actually notice that there is a swirling of, like, it's not completely like obsidian black, but more of there's like a smoky blackness to it, tied in with the greenish hue of the gem that it was naturally.
Interesting. I think I'll hold on to this for a bit.
God, what's his name?
Henry?
Yeah, Henry. Thank you. I just had it and I lost it. I was like, I need to talk to Henry. Is Henry there?
Oh yeah, he is pretty much where you guys left him, sitting down at the table downstairs, books and a map scrawled out, and him like taking notes and muttering to himself and kind of adjusting his glasses every so often. You get the idea that the guy slept a little bit, but he's kind of burning the midnight oil here to try and help you guys out.
Cool. And he's still trying to look for that map location. That's right.
Yeah, if you guys remember from last session, he did get the second cipher where you now have the second hint of where the village is.
Oh, yep, I've got that.
Right on. I'll approach Henry, and I'll kind of just like look over him and kind of just like look at what he's doing for a few seconds, and just like be there, and then just kind of ask him questions like, "Hey, what you reading about?"
Well, I'm reading this cipher based on a very old version of the Bible, and comparing that to the notes that were made in the captain's journal that was studying the lupines. However, he had broken the code about where the village was based on some of their notes that seemed to be in a language specific to the lupine. So there's a lot of translation that needs to happen in order to understand it in terms that are specific to their species, I guess you could call it. And I'm trying to cross-reference that and come up with a better cipher.
Yeah, that sounds incredibly boring.
On the contrary, my friend, it's very fascinating.
It's interesting, but
I did wait. We can go back. We can go down back for
last night or the morning.
What was that?
Did you work through the morning?
I got a few hours of sleep somewhere around midday.
Well, make sure to get some sleep every now and then. we're forced to, but you being who you are, things might be a little different.
I'll try to remember to do that from time to time. Bartleby has been good enough to remind me to every so often eat something and catch a couple hours.
Well, keep at it, and I'll just pat my hand on his shoulder and walk off over to Liam.
Okay. He nods and goes back into his books.
So, what's on the agenda for today, everyone?
We still got a few days before our friend, our general friend Mordius comes in. I believe you still want to contact your sire, Waya. Is that correct?
Yeah, I still plan to do that. I'm a little nervous. Haven't seen him in a long time. Or not that long of a time, I guess, in comparison to some others here.
Yes.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
Liam, do you have those scrolls or do I have them? I can't remember.
The scrolls that we got from Octavian. So those are to contact Lord Pembroke. The spell for contacting your sire, that's something I have, but I have one more. I can definitely give it to you.
No, I thought that isn't that the whole thing that I had Octavian make? I thought.
Oh, no, those the scrolls to contact your sire are something that we got separately. What we got from Octavian was the scrolls to actually send direct messages to Lord Pembroke.
Oh, okay.
But I do have one left if you'd like to use it.
Yes, I guess it was just I mixed things up. So yeah, if you don't mind.
Oh, by all means, and just reach in my satchel.
I didn't intend on using someone else's resource. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. Although this does take 10 minutes of meditation, and Lord knows how patient I am with that.
Well, I will take the scroll and stare at it for a little bit and then make my way upstairs to go to a quiet place to use it.
Okay. Give me a intelligence plus occult roll, Waya.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm probably gonna need a cult for this, huh? Oh, that's 2. 2 successes.
It's not something you're super familiar with, not having been a mage yourself, but it seems like it's spelled out enough where it's relatively easy to follow. So you're able to copy the markings in Vitae. You're going to mark off another blood point.
Okay.
As you write and draw lines and make something of a circle around yourself that you sit down in. You lay the scroll out. It seems like normally this ability is either something that you learn or there would be spell components, but this scroll acts as the catalyst for activating the spell within the circle. And you concentrate on the face and the presence of your sire, who you have not seen in quite some time, actually. And as your mind drifts, you feel a connection that you...
Nope, you just muted yourself.
Sorry. Though you can't see him, it's like if you're in the room with someone and you close your eyes, you know you're still there. So there's that feeling of being close to him.
Okay. I'd just say, hello, Twin Hawk. Can you hear me? Is this scroll working?
Testing scroll.
Testing. Waya, is that you?
It is. It is me, sire. I'm using this item that we found to contact you. I was wondering if you could help us, or I guess me, in this circumstance. We're kind of need some extra eyes on a situation that's gonna be difficult for us to. Uh, it's gonna be a difficult situation.
Right. Well, I I'm glad to hear that you're using something to contact me. Otherwise, it would suggest you've. Well, never mind. You obviously haven't, so that's all right. What is it you need help with?
I need. Have you have you ever fought a werewolf before? A lichen?
Uh, no, as a matter of fact, I'm quite pleased to say that I have avoided such conflicts. Not really something many of us try to get wrapped up in if we can at all avoid it.
But what if you can't avoid it? What if talking and making peace will not suffice?
Young one, what have you gotten yourself into?
Well, we met through circumstances. We ended up meeting with I will say the chief's name because I cannot remember it. Morakuru, something like that, I
I think that's
believe.
what it is. Yeah.
Oh, dang! Look at me, notes. I'll say we met with him, and he he gave some interesting insight, and he gave us pendants to not have us be harassed by his other clanmates. But he said that his rule was coming to an end, and that the others did not so agree with our presence here. And I'm afraid our time of immunity is growing short. We don't wish to eradicate them, but maybe move them or get them to leave, scare them away. I don't know.
Ironic. Was that not what was done to our people?
Indeed, it was.
So I must ask, young one, do you still hope to walk the path of the hero?
Do heroes truly exist? Can we be heroes?
That depends on if we have the faith to be what we need to be. Our nature dictates that there is a price for our existence. But there are other creatures you know well that must feed and protect themselves. Are we not part of nature?
I would definitely prefer to avoid conflict at all costs. Or maybe somehow strike a deal with them. I don't know. Do you have you have honestly, we're just grasping at straws, and I'm trying not to do exactly what happened to our people to them. And I'm not sure I could leave the group I'm with if things came down to an altercation.
You're in a tough spot. I will say that brokering a deal would be extremely difficult. The hate between their kind and ours goes back longer than any of us who are still awake can remember. There are many rumors about how it started. The fact that their chieftain trusted you enough to even give you a temporary peace is something extremely rare. If you have to fight one, I'm sure you are aware of their allergic nature to silver. You cannot fight them one-on-one. Even elders of our kind fear to go face-to-face with one of these creatures. Their healing factor rivals even ours, from what I understand. If you are to fight them, you are going to need either great strength in numbers or be able to lure them into some type of trap as you would hunt a wild beast.
Indeed. When I met with the chief, he knew about the nightmares.
Have they gotten worse?
Yes. It becomes hard to separate myself from the wolf sometimes. It's becoming harder to see what's right and to follow the code, follow anything anymore, rather than just become the hunter.
Son, you know what is at the end of that path if you allow yourself to go too far down it. I taught you that lesson many days ago. It is not an easy path. We all must find our own answer, our reason, our purpose. Mine cannot necessarily be yours, and yours will be different from those you travel with. But you must find a purpose. To let yourself be adrift and wander aimlessly, it allows the dark things to seep through. I feel like you are lost in more ways than you know. I can hear it in your voice. Though we must run from the light of day, there are other lights to follow. The moon, the stars. Though ever changing, there is a consistent nature to them. You must learn to adapt and change as well. You are not walking the path of the daywalker. You are the moon strider, the star seeker. Do not give up on heroes. They can still exist if we're brave enough to follow their message, and perhaps be an example to others. As for your current predicament, if it really must come to conflict, whatever allies you can gather to yourself, do it. And you will not fight them strength to strength, and I know that is your preferred method, young one. But you must outsmart them. If there is indeed conflict among their ranks, exploiting that and turning them against each other might be your best method. Let them fight amongst themselves and simply pick off the ones that straggle. And if you must face them, not every ally needs to know who you are. I'm sure there are other parties involved that wish to see them gone too, perhaps even mortals that do not know exactly what they are. However, be cautious. Mortals have a very strong weakness to these creatures. If they see them in their true form, all but the most hardened among mortals will turn into a carrying mess in the face of a true predator. It's something, a ability of theirs that I've heard about, that people go mad and forget they've ever seen them because their brains cannot comprehend what they are seeing. However, there might be other points of weakness, pressure you can apply. You know what was done to our people. We were brave and strong, and yet we fell. Those same weaknesses apply to many groups. Have them fight among themselves, and they'll do the work for you.
Okay. That definitely sounds like an option. Hopefully, we have the opportunity to follow that. But yes, it's troubling times for a little bit until things can hopefully die down. It's harder when you're traveling with a impulsive group.
Oh, young one. Have you found someone to even rival your impulsiveness?
Oh man, you have no clue. These people. I let one, I regrettably almost let one to fall into a pit of spikes, although he deserved it. But that won't happen again. I can't let that happen. It was meant to be a funny lesson, but I guess it was a little out of hand.
Yes, impalement might be indeed a interesting way for a jesting moral lesson.
And somewhere from the psychic spectrum, you hear Liam, he likes it.
Regardless, just being with them is strain enough sometimes. I miss being
You,
alone.
like myself, have often walked, as many of our clan does, outside of many of the cities, especially out here. I've only myself heard tale of the kinds of courts that are held back in Europe and other countries amongst our kind. The different clans all have their different quirks, but they are not without uses. Never trust anyone 100%, but do not rely on yourself completely either. It is a razor's edge you must walk when dealing with our kind.
Yes, I do see the usefulness in the others, but I do miss being by myself and traveling alone. There's solace in being by yourself.
There's
Easier
vulnerability
decisions.
too.
Indeed.
Is Sonoy still with you?
He is. He is still well.
Good.
We've had close moments, but he is still with us.
Protect him, young one. He will help keep you on a path. He is a piece of yourself.
Indeed, he is. I cannot lose him.
Then don't. If something is too precious to lose, you know what you have to do. Though I do hate to see you have to face such hardships. Remember that the hottest forges yield the strongest blades. This is a test. Temper yourself against it and come out stronger.
Yes, sir. I will do all that I can to keep those around me safe. As much as I can.
I know you will, young one. You'll make me proud.
And then there's this long, awkward silence when Waya tries to end the message. He's just like, oh, wait, how do I... what?
You just have to push the other...
Yeah. Like
How do I end this scroll?
An old person using technology.
Right, it's like Skyping with your grandparents, you know? Just...
FaceTiming with grandma.
Google.com. Go to Google.
Waya will kind of just sit there and just close his eyes and just take it all in for a minute. Well, don't really suppose he gave me any information we didn't already know, but it's nice to hear from him. And I'll go down and I'll join the rest of the group.
What's everybody else doing?
When Chad comes down, he just kind of hears me arguing a little bit with Waya and Adele. It's like, look, I'm not suggesting that we put anyone in danger, but Waya is going to be the best option for us to actually get even this little bit of a shred of a plan going. Oh,
Well, there's a
speak
plan.
as a devil. There is part of a plan.
Well, shoot. I thought we were just talking a little bit, but if there's a plan, why don't you share it with the rest of us?
Well, we know that we keep getting told back and forth that probably the best bet is divide and conquer. We at least know that the chieftain is willing to listen to us, but his son, it's a tie, which I can see why he's upset if it's always a tie, is just not going to bother. We may need to arrange a meeting with his father just to see if we can negotiate a bit further. But the only way that I can even think of doing that, since we don't know where their home is to send a wolf to the chief and say that we need to talk somewhere safe. I do.
You reckon you want to send Sonoy?
Well, I wouldn't want to sacrifice Sonoy. I don't want to put him in any danger, but at the very least, I know Waya speaks wolf far better than... Well, Noah, quite frankly, I don't know how well you speak wolf.
Bark, bark, growl.
That is my mother you're speaking about.
I'm doing my best.
Walter looks that way. Is that how it works?
I'll just kind of like just hold my head and think of my sire and just. Well,
I've had a lot more practice with owls.
Can't you just summon him to our location?
I would be very hesitant to attempt to summon the chief.
From what you told me last time, I do not think that would be a great idea.
Look, I'm not saying we do it here, but if we need to send a message, we can send an animal.
Oh no, I agree. I thought we could summon a wolf. I could put the pendant that the chief gave me so that he gets a scent and a basic message of we need to speak and see if we could, meet somewhere that's a bit neutral. I don't assume the wolf would say that, but just at least we need to talk. because things are escalating rather quickly.
I can follow it as well.
At least with the necklace, that is safe passage for us in their territory as far as the chief is concerned.
Well, as soon
So
as
I'm
we
gonna
get the chief in,
just take off the arrow necklace and hand it to Waya. It's like, that would be yours for now.
I reckon it's as good a plan as any.
It's a step in the right direction. I just got done talking to my sire, and I'm telling you, we have to figure out a way to break their ranks. Maybe turn them against each other, bring in a third party. But I'd rather not fight them. Fighting them means eradicating my people. I'm not sure I can join that.
I have a feeling that we're going to be drug into a fight, but I want to see if the chieftain can do anything to at least quell some of that on his end, or if it is something where his son needs to learn a lesson the hard way. Plus, we have enemies on multiple fronts, and if they go into an all-out altercation with Noah and his clan, no one is to stop the Sabbat from coming up from Mexico. The Inquisition, which was their enemy as well, at least is something that we helped with that we can negotiate with.
Henry
so it
looks
sounds
up.
like Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Maybe
Okay.
we try to single out the sun somehow.
Yes, it depends on the
Terminate
angle
him.
we're wanting, the angle we're going at, on how we're wanting to put it. If we're wanting to inflame tensions between the father and son, or at least with people who are aligned with them, that's one way you could do it.
Henry looks up and he goes, there is something to think about, and it would require gathering more information than what we were even able to suss out. What was the common factor about both Alexander the Great and Genghis Khan's empires?
An affinity for unicorn ceramics.
They should just go look blankly at him.
Access to elephants.
Actually, no. Alexander the Great was stopped by elephant armies.
I can speak owl.
But no, it was simply that their forces were spread too thin, and they got far, far too arrogant and confident to the point where they were blinded by their own pride.
Indeed. And furthermore, the empires fell apart not with the leader himself, who was battle hardened and wise and knew how to run an empire. It was the infighting among the children, grandchildren, and in-laws. If this leader is to die by his son's hand, there's going to potentially be a jockeying for who gets to be the new top dog. You fan those flames and allow them to fight amongst themselves. As I understand it, your employer isn't asking for you to destroy every single one of them just to get them out of here. If they're too busy fighting amongst themselves, weakening everything, breaking their sizable force into much more easily to manage factions, and then you make their home unsavory to live in, they have no reason to stick around. It would just be more all-out war if they did, and so they would scatter to the four winds.
They also have a potentially more disruptive enemy at the south with the Sabbat. Those would rather just swarm through the area like locusts and take everything in their path if there's not anything to beat them back. But I think that there's no negotiating with Itzatai. It would have to be with his father.
Maybe we play this politically then.
For now, at least.
Yeah, at least take the angle of there's more threats that can endanger him, that putting his son in charge would, put his tribe in danger, perhaps.
If only his father could, I don't know, put some sort of spell on a mystic hammer and make his son lose all his powers until he's worthy. I don't
You want to talk to Josephine about her hammer?
know. You're an ass and I love it.
Wow.
Lyman, we miss you. You are here in spirit. So, Waya, would we be able to, would that message be simple enough to send that we just need to talk, or would you want to run alongside this wolf and take Sonoy?
I'm not sure I'd make it back if I run alongside them.
I just assumed the pendant might have enough of the chief's scent that the wolf that we summon might be able to actually find and communicate with them. But this way we'd be sending a living creature, not something that they deem as some sort of abomination.
Indeed. I say we leave our home a little bit. I call out a wolf, put the pendant on him, and send him on his way. Then I can follow him as an owl and figure out where they are.
I have a feeling that the chief won't meet at his village. He'll probably come somewhere center, which is fine. I don't want them to feel like we're threatening them in any way.
Indeed. But it's going to be a pretty far job. I'm not sure how long it'll take.
No, we have a few days.
How he'll even get a message back to us, but I guess it's worth a shot. As long as we all don't die.
That's always the plan.
We're already dead.
Yeah.
Well,
He said the secret phrase.
well, are we prepared for tonight then?
I suppose it's
ready
as good
to
a time
go?
as any.
Yes, Noah, Adele, what are you going to be doing?
Murder vase.
So,
I will admit, it'll be terrible if we just put the murder vase at the top of the church in the attic and everyone who dies just... Adele, out of curiosity, you said that that knife ate blood? In your vision, you said that it was absorbing the blood through the blade?
I personally need a reminder because my brain is shit.
So Adele, when you looked at the blade, you got visions of. You've read and seen a lot of art, and it seemed like art you saw out of like India, places like that. Almost like a sultan's palace kind of look. The blade did indeed seem to feed off of the little strands of fabric dug into the flesh of the person and seem to be feeding, but in turn also giving that person additional strength and prowess on the battlefield. The warning that you saw, though, you don't, again, you only got flashes. It's not like you got a full narrative. You did see someone with a murdered woman on the ground and the dagger sticking out of her and being very upset by this.
That.
Oh, well, I'm curious and bored, and Henry's working as hard as he can. Anyone want to slice my palm and see if it eats my blood?
Well, I'm sure I can give it a slice if you'd like me to.
This is how we do things.
Bartleby speaks up. Master, I don't know if that's necessarily the smartest idea.
I don't think that's the best idea. We can find something else to hit it with.
Fine.
I mean, he's
If things
Bartleby,
get
Henry literally takes his chair and table and scoots it further away from you.
You see what I'm
he
working
just
with
knows.
here, Henry?
I'm not involved. I'm just reading a map and something in Aramaic. I'm just staying over here.
All right, fine. But if we get bored, we're doing it outside. Agreed, Atris? Walter?
Shall we?
Oh shoot. I'm always game for slicing you, but we don't want you to get too hurt now.
If we're playing with blood, it would make sense that we use human before we test the stronger blood on.
True. Bartleby? Oh, I'm kidding. For now.
It's that combination of like ghoul sense is that I must follow what my master says, but self-preservation is like, no.
Oh, if only we had Deputy Marshal here.
No.
I mean, he is another person. He is yours. You could just bring him along. He is an extra hand.
Fine. Not for right now.
All right.
Waya, do you think it might be a good idea to give the wolf something with one of our senses as well, just so that the chieftain would know better of who is trying to communicate with them?
Waya.
Yeah, I'm listening.
He's thinking.
I'm thinking.
Right.
We can definitely do that. Just give them a piece of our clothing. I'm just afraid that it's gonna go to something else, and then they're gonna hunt us down. And oh boy, oh man,
That is unfortunately a risk that we run.
yeah. Okay, well, what are we gonna give them then?
Well, assuming that Nora and I have never met him, it's going to have to be something from the lot of you that have met him.
I will take the red bandana I wear on my head, and I'll pull it out so my ears are exposed, and I'll just give them this, I suppose. Should smell enough like me.
Oh, well, then let's hope this works.
Okay, let's go. And I'll open the door, and I will begin traveling a little bit far. Well, actually, no. Old Man Williams' place is already pretty far from town, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like miles and miles gone, but it's a farm. So in order to have enough land to actually work, it's not like town center.
I think it was always like a 15-minute walk, so like maybe
it's
a mile.
about a 15-minute walk away from town. So maybe like David said, about a mile out of town.
For sure. I'll just I'll go a ways down further, and then I will use beckoning. And oh God, against my judgment, I will try to summon wolves to my location.
Okay.
Survival.
Are you all coming with him?
I assume. Yeah, go ahead.
Liam just wants to observe.
Yeah,
I'll go with.
We were gonna go. Yeah, we were just gonna go outside. Anyway.
I'd like to witness some wolf speak.
Bark.
I will also tag along.
Boy.
As you start walking away from the homestead, Sonoy kind of comes up. He was kind of in the backyard, and he kind of comes alongside you.
The backyard. Nice. Okay. I got 2 successes. Fucking reroll into a 1.
So 1 success.
Yep. Affects the number of animals who respond.
I think it's only 1, so.
Okay. You wait 10, 15 minutes. Sonoy sits down, then he lays down. And then all of a sudden his head comes up and you see that he's and you see just outside of it's freaking dark, so all y'all don't see anything except for Waya, who has night vision.
Yes.
You see a gray wolf kind of coming a little bit nearby and kind of scoping everything out. From a
The wolf
glance,
is alarmed.
Sounds like your
yes,
car alarm.
the low jack on that wolf is being
That's what wolf sounds like. It's just a series of car alarms.
And that's why no one gets it wrong every time.
Anyway, I will approach it, but as approaching it, I will whisper it to you. To you, wow, sorry. To it, haha. And I will just say, hello. I'm the one who brought you here. I have a task to give you. I need you to deliver a message for me.
Give me a first. Give me a manipulation plus animal kin.
Okay. So it's lowered by 1 if I speak the language.
Well, that's feral whispers.
Oh, you're just doing a check. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
Okay. At 5 successes, it's not bolting, but it definitely the hair on its haunches is up. It is growling. It is snarling. This is not a ghouled wolf. This is, as a matter of fact, as you get a little bit closer, you see little bits of patches of missing fur where there are a couple of scars along the muzzle. You get that this is very much a lone wolf that at some point in its life got separated from its pack and has been surviving as best it can on its own.
Relatable wolf.
And relatable wolf.
As being vampires, animals are naturally kind of afraid of you guys because they can sense the apex predator that you guys are. But
I have an affinity for them.
Yeah, but there's also more of you guys there. It's not just you. Like
true.
And Noah stinks up the whole area. So
yeah, you stink. Well,
but anyway,
Noah is inoffensive to animals.
Well, that's good.
I'll kneel down so like I'm a lot smaller than him, and I'll avoid my eye contact, and I'll just start talking. I'll say, stalking in wolf still. Looks like you were separated. I understand what that feels like, believe it or not. I feel a long way from home. I feel like I'm missing the thing that means the most to me. And yet I'm here trying to make it work, even though I feel like I'm alone sometimes. So I understand why those scars are on your face. And I'll just kind of like touch my face. And I'll say, but this message is very important. And, I'd be very grateful if you did this for me. I'd be very appreciative.
Okay. It's still kind of growling. It's not really. I mean, it's not running and it's not attacking, but it's still. Are you just going to use feral whispers, or are you going to use the command feature?
Yeah. Should I? Let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna just command it. I guess.
Yeah.
Feral whispers.
I'm going to say that your knowledge of wild animals, that this wild wolf that you summoned here is not just going to, out of the goodness of its heart, go, sure.
Why not? No. Yeah, I'm gonna just command it to come over to me then, and to come over to me so I can give it something.
Okay.
Yeah, you do.
Because it's being a real dick right now.
Step 1, Chad, step one.
Yeah, I know, right? 2, 3, 4, 5 minus 2, 3. 3 successes.
Okay. At what difficulty did you do it at?
That was 5 because it's -1 if I speak their language. But most of the rolls were above 5. They're like 9, 6, 7, 7.
Okay. It comes over cautiously where it's kind of doing that slow one paw in front of the other. Tail and fur all kind of still bushed out a little bit. And it's not snarling as much, but there's still a low growl, and its eyes are kind of darting back and forth. It's doing that nervous dog thing.
I'll get close to it and I'll put the pendant around it, around its neck. I'll tie it with the bandana that I have. And I will tell him to. I'll point the direction to where. Oh, what's that place? God, why can't I can never remember these places right on the spot. But literally all week I was like, oh yeah, it's this place. The mission.
Oh, San Miguel.
Thank you. I'll tell him to run over to that direction because I know that's where we spotted the werewolves last time and where we are hearing from them. So I will tell him to go there and speak with, or just to give these items to, what's its name? Marukuru. I feel like I'm butchering its name every time I say it. Yeah. And to just give this to them. And hopefully he understands the message and we don't all die.
The wolf looks at you and goes, "Who?" and then runs off in the direction that you pointed.
Well, that was sudden.
Huh. Should I slice your hand open now?
He's going in the direction that you commanded him to go.
Okay, so if I'm looking at the map right, St. Angelo and Star Rock are at least in a similar direction. And we know that the wolves were patrolling around St. Angelo?
Correct. Well, patrolling around San Miguel, yes.
Oh, sorry, San Miguel, sorry.
So the hope at least is that they'll have some cross sense or sense close enough to that general location.
No, I doubt if we do hear anything back, it won't be tonight.
Probably not.
No, and to be quite frank, I don't think much is going to come from that, but we'll see.
To be fair, after me having that pendant for so long, I don't know how much it still would have had any of the chieftain's scent on it regardless.
Yep.
All right. Well, seems like it worked. Sure it'll be fine.
Yes, it's always fine. It always seems to be fine for us.
Well, hell, things gotta work out sometime.
Speaking of which, I mean, I am a little jovial about this, but do you still want me to slice your hand open, Liam?
Do we have the knife?
What could possibly go wrong?
Everything, but nothing else is going on right now.
We can find something else to stick it in if you'd like. You don't have, it doesn't have to be Liam.
Okay,
I
I'm
can
going to be
literally summon something.
I'm just saying, I'm going to be the first one to say it.
I am an animal vending machine.
Like, why do the gophers always get stuck? Oh.
And I will cast beckoning, and I will summon a deer.
Okay, make your roll. What even is this game anymore? Okay.
Sean, you introduce things to us, and we only have certain ways of finding out how they work. And sometimes they're by stabbing ourselves.
It's
Or other-
literally either I let Liam do the thing or I help him not hurt himself.
I am just going to be the first to say it. Waya is passing up a chance to have me cut with a knife. Something is wrong with him.
4 successes.
Okay. You do your chant, you do your time, like how you personally do your beckoning. Noah, you notice it's very different than how you do yours. There seems to be a little bit more flavor context that Waya adds with his cultural background. And about 5 minutes go by, and let's see, it's winter, so a stag and 2 does appear.
Oh. And I'll look to Liam and I'll say, see, we could just use these and I will. You said 1 stag and 2 doe?
For a doe, a deer, a female deer.
Yes,
Jesus.
yes, indeed.
I will command. I'm gonna command one of the doe to come over to our location.
Okay, make your roll. I'll say it's gonna be difficulty 7 just because it's an animal that isn't really used to taking like orders.
You said 7.
While he does that,
3 successes.
while he does that, H is gonna go fetch the knife from the house real quick and run back outside.
Okay.
I'd like to nudge Adele and be like, "Can you check and make sure none of those deer are with child? Is that possible?
Or
Check out their auras for another aura? I don't know."
I didn't know Adele could sense deer
Most-
auras.
Yeah, I think that mostly works on like human and human adjacent.
Somewhere there's some specific offshoot of vampires that are very deer centric.
Oh my god! I'm
Are
gonna
we
look
gonna
at,
meet the deer people now?
I'm gonna look at Noah and I'm gonna say we literally burned down a whole town bar, and you're worried about this deer? Like, look, I understand it's an animal and I get it, but sometimes things need to die. We are monsters. Look at it this way. We're probably gonna drink some of its fucking blood, so if anything,
this
it's
is
a
true.
resource.
This is true. We got free meal here.
Look, I'll tell you what. That doe right over there on the right, I'll name it Bambi.
That has no
That certainly
significance.
helps.
Bambi was a boy, though.
Don't you assign genders?
I even
God.
Any hoot. No, Adele, you're pretty certain that no, you can't read deer aura. And Atris, do you touch the knife with your bare hands?
I guess so, because she.
Would you have gloves on?
Like the hilt part, the blade part? What'd you talk about, Sean?
Yes.
Probably would have been. I mean, she wouldn't have grabbed it by the blade. She would easily would have grabbed it by the hilt.
Well, I'm glad she's not stupid enough to be like, oh, let me just grab this knife by the blade.
Yes.
Enter Liam.
All right. Give me a willpower roll. Difficulty 7.
Enough these already. Oh, 1, 2, 3. 3 successes.
You okay? You swear that you pick it up and you feel almost like a pulse in the handle, but as soon as it starts, it stops, and you wonder if maybe you just imagined it, and you bring the dagger out. In the meantime, Waya, you succeeded, and one of the does comes closer to you. The others are around, but staying very the fuck far away. Like, these are prey animals surrounded by predators. They are staying a good, 7 yards away from you guys.
Well, got the knife. Would you like me to do the honors, or would anyone like to take it?
Liam's the guinea pig, right?
I mean, he wanted me to slice him. He didn't want
The
me to
deer
slice
is
him
a
open.
deer.
And
It's not a guinea pig.
like, I don't
I
mind.
don't even think you guys know what those things are.
I'll remind you that I suggested working with a weaker creature first before we give it to a strong apex predator.
I mean, we're just trying out what it's doing.
Walter speaks up and goes, are you suggesting we give the deer the knife and let the deer cut Liam?
No, that is not
Yeah.
what we're saying.
I don't think I could tell him to do that.
Am I the
Sure
only
would
one
be
getting?
interesting.
Am I the only one getting echo?
No, I'm hearing it too.
No.
Yeah, I think it's Noah.
That was the auto coming through doubly on your end. Yeah, when you muted, that ended the echo.
Well,
Weird.
y'all can stab
That
it
is
now.
indeed odd. I have Bluetooth headphones and only one of them on, so I have no idea how it's picking up the noise from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll
it
just
seems
deal
to be
with it
good now. So
Yes.
Okay.
Right, so how are we doing this?
Well, animals right there, knives right here. Might as well just go for it. And Atris is just gonna go make a general stab right into the center of the
Oh my
deer.
god. You're just sitting there looking cute. Hell yeah, stab that deer.
All right, I need Atris to go ahead and make a dex melee attack.
Make sure I got all the dice I need. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Jesus. 8. 8 successes.
Thanks to the deer's 1, that was 0 successes. So, yeah, you just full on go ahead and roll damage. Let me just check the stats of this knife real quick.
I mean, I
just imagining until Sean tells me otherwise, the deer is about to inflate like a giant mylar balloon and just explode.
Kapow! Guts over all of us.
Well, that's what the knife does.
Oh my god. It's a balloon popper.
All right, the damage currently is strength +1. So go ahead and roll.
Strength +1. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Hold on, I didn't have deer stats ready all of a sudden, so give me a quick
How
second.
dare you? How dare you?
At the very least, you have guinea pig stats, Sean.
Yes, much harder to hit.
See, they were in fact in
Easier
North
to
America
throw,
by this
though.
point.
Much easier to throw.
I can't remember. Was it cow or horse that we actually don't have stats for in the book?
I think it's
I don't.
Cow.
Oh, it's cow. Yet we have orangutan in there.
What? Dumb.
Those are much more common to come across.
Sure. Yes. very common.
So what you guys can't hear, but I can. He is out loud saying all the different animals as he comes across, and no other deer. So it's horse, eggs.
I summoned the worst animals for a DM.
I currently have alligator, bat, bear, birds, large birds, camel, cats, house cat,
Yes.
leopard,
I
tiger,
summoned a
chimpanzee, small dog, medium dog,
They can't even be alphabetical.
Isn't it
large
just a
dog,
really
small horse, large
dog?
horse, pigs, large pig, rat,
I would
poisonous
say
snake,
deer.
constrictor, spider, wolf.
Deer might be akin to small horse.
That's what I'm thinking. So
Yeah.
For those of you that play 5th edition at home, you understand our peril right now.
okay, so this deer that got unexplicably summoned to this area
And then
got
stabbed.
told to come closer, as suddenly out of nowhere Atris just jumps and shanks this deer. Atris, I need you to go ahead and make a dodge roll for me, please.
Of course, I have to remember. Dodge is Dex plus athletics. So
You're about to get mauled by a deer.
that is, that's 11 die.
This is better than the storyline, guys. This is...
One, two, three, 4, 5, 3 rolls. That's 6 successes. So only 1 canceling it out.
It tries to kick, but you dodge the hoof out, and it's making a run for it, but you definitely shanked it.
And I am still gripping the knife, so I'm making sure it's not leaving with the
Right,
knife in it.
this magical knife just embedded in this deer as it's
No,
running off.
dude.
That's how we lost the
werewolves
knife.
did that and beat the shit out of us with that knife.
And then we're just gonna observe what happens to the
So-
knife.
Yeah, but did anything different happen?
So you look at the knife, covered in deer blood.
Dear blood.
It does not seem to do anything.
Well, maybe it has to be human blood.
Perhaps to note the difference. She's gonna clean all the blood off of her, the blade with her whatever piece of clothing she has. She doesn't care.
I mean, does the deer look badly wounded? I know it's trying to run away, but like I don't know how well she stabbed it with 4 successes.
I mean, it definitely looks hurt. It definitely has a bleeding wound on it. So yeah.
But like,
By the way, the other deer have bolted too. Like the deer are just like gone.
He's like, fuck this shit.
What happened to Jenny?
This used to be a nice neighborhood.
Yeah. People walking around stabbing other people.
Hide your wife, hide your kids.
well, yeah, I'm not sure if Sonoy would like some deer.
But Sonoy's gone too. You notice that he's chasing after the deer. Like he ran after
he's
that
way,
thing.
he's way ahead of you.
Yeah, I'm sure I don't have to say anything about that. Well, we can summon a person, but now
that'd be up to you.
figure out what this does later.
I mean, it all depends on if you want to keep the person, kill the person. I mean, it's all up to your abilities. How well you want to test this knife out.
No, the problem is when you summon people and you stab them, they usually like to talk about it if they survive.
Kind of. Why you have to either make it permanent. Well, your choice, Liam, if you still want me to test this on you.
No. All right.
All right. Hold out your hand.
I tried
Guys,
to stop them.
you're gonna do
I
what?
mean, is anyone gonna try to stop us?
I'm not going to stop you. You can stab Liam.
Uh,
All right, and Aegis is gonna gear up and just make a nice shallow slash across Liam's hand.
okay. Go ahead and roll strength +1. I'll say because you're trying to pull your punch a little bit, just tell me how much you what was your roll?
I roll 4 dice, so a 9, 7, 1, and a 4, so 1 success.
Okay, Liam, you take 1 lethal.
Can I choke that?
Yes.
I laughed that I have to roll 8 dice for this. I'm fine.
So you try to penetrate Liam, and because you can't, you actually got no blood on the blade because his hide is just such that he didn't take any damage from it.
Well, this isn't gonna work if you gotta hit immediately.
Sorry. I don't really have control over that.
I mean, do you
hell.
just stab your...
I'm sick of waiting. Here. and
All right, there you go.
you just like stab him and stab him in the shoulder. Now I know
Me next.
Walter does have fortitude as well. Let's see. I'll say for the purposes of this, you're able to stab and penetrate. Because you're not trying as hard, you're not actually trying to like mangle him. You get a little bit of vitae on the tip of the blade. It doesn't go in as deep as it. You stare for a good 15 seconds or so as the blood seeps into the blade, almost like watching water hit soil and go down in. And the blade feels warmer in your hands.
Oh, got a little warmer after that.
Oh, great. We got a death-wielding heating pad.
Benatrix, you hear something in your head.
How's my head?
It's very soft and very weak. But you hear a voice say, "Hungry."
Oh. Ow. Okay, close that window. Sorry, too much motorcycle. That's it. That's all I hear. Is that Oh, warm and a tiny bit ominous. I don't know, but this they may be hungry. I just get a sense.
No, we're gonna have to stab more people with it.
I don't reckon I want to volunteer. That kind of hurt.
No, I wouldn't want to stab you again, Walter. You did quite well. Thank you.
Not it.
Not now, just eventually.
Now, what if it doesn't drink from the victim, but drinks from the perpetrator? Weren't we told that the cloth is supposed to attack or something?
Is the cloth attacking you, Atris? The hilt cloth on there?
Nothing's attacking me so far. Just warmth and an ominous warning. That's it so far.
See, sounds perfectly harmless.
Yeah, ominous is good.
Hey, don't mind to alarm anyone, but this wound isn't really closing up like I'm trying to make it do.
I'd hate to ask, but how hard are you trying?
I mean, regular amount. I'm usually pretty good at it.
Hmm.
Oh, great. We broke Walter.
Are you like constantly losing vitae?
You look at Walter, you don't see it like bleeding out, but like as he's moving the fabric of his clothing, you see the little slit where the blade punctured his skin, and it's not closing up the way you guys can normally will your flesh to heal.
Huh. That's weird. I mean,
Does that mean that this knife does to us what silver does to those little wolfies?
Well, I think this knife does to us what a regular knife does to one of those living humans.
yes, and has a cut that you can't easily close up. In this case, it's super effective on vampires. Well, I mean, should you try to feed and see if maybe more blood can help heal you, or what do we try to do with that?
It might just be time.
Uh,
Liam just kind of looks at his hand like, oh. Is Liam's hand like they weren't able to get through because of my fortitude? Huh?
Right. Because of your fortitude, it didn't even pierce the skin.
No, Walter, like we might just have to wait it out. Is it
I
painful?
hate waiting.
Is it hurting you out of these? Like, is it? I mean, aside from
Well,
closing,
it didn't
not
tickle.
I mean, I'm assuming being stabbed is not going to be pleasant, but at the very least, is it hurting you right now?
You're telling me we didn't get the hungry tickle knife? I have words for QVC.
If the other item is a murder base, I don't think this is going to be any friendly.
Yes, everything we gathered seemed to be just very ominous, ominously friendly.
I will admit, though, something that causes non-healable damage to vampires is very interesting. But no, this could absolutely have its advantages.
Yeah, definitely. If it works the same against us as it does the lupine, then we may have at least one thing that can help prevent the heating factor for a little bit.
Oh, my dear, I love you so much, but I'm thinking on a much more grand scale, much more like jabbing it into an elder vampire's heart.
Well, there you
Now,
go.
I'm quite curious, how will this blade do against that metal rotten blood that they got?
Well, someone got rid of my test subject.
Hmm.
You could have picked it up, it wasn't that far.
I'm not going to walk after you catapult it using magical force fields.
That seems like a personal choice.
How many more days do we have until Asmodeus shows up?
I think it was still 3 days.
But my question is, can an elder vampire soul be sucked into a vase if they don't have a soul?
Well, we can always stab it with the blood knife and then open up the murder vase and see if something happens.
I mean, it's a win-win.
I will say, beyond what we've done so far, and other than just kind of working with Henry to get the rest of the cipher, I personally don't have anything else I need to do tonight.
Okay. Is there
Yeah.
anything else specifically that people want to accomplish tonight?
I don't believe there's anything else Atris needs to do. I think she's already taken care of the gin, of course. So that was really her really outstanding thing she needed to do.
I wanted to check our local town to see if there was anyone capable of blowing glass to make more pendants.
Okay. If you wanted to head into town, is anyone going to go with Noah, or Noah, are you just going to head in alone?
I'll make my intentions clear to the group that I'm looking to build more of these, or at least some fake black pendants, so that we can go among my plans.
And also, Adele, if you get there early enough, you might be able to find some additional clothing for travel. I did pack some additionals into the carriage for better rustic appeal.
Good point. I need more clothes.
I mean, if you're looking for someone to make the pendant, there's only one forge here. So I think there's only one real big fire source, but we can definitely check. Might be something Josephine can accomplish.
Remember, she does metal. Noah asked her
She
specifically for
doesn't
glass.
work
And
with
she,
anything else, right?
Yeah.
I'll go
Okay,
with you.
so Adele and Noah are going shoppies. Anyone else doing anything specifically tonight?
I'll ask Atris if she could just help me with my obfuscation.
Yep.
Okay.
And I will help in trying to play like tag with Liam. So if he doesn't obfuscate that well, I can point at him and he'll poof.
Nice.
I also will be asking Waya and later Noah for assistance, but because I have animalism now, so I need to start practicing with that so I can start working on that.
Okay, cool. So Walter kind of sticks with you guys and goes, well, there's nothing I really need a shop for other than if y'all want to get me a new shirt, that might be nice.
I just looked at Walter at some point like, are you ever going to flirt properly with Josephine? I'm fairly confident that Atris is sniffing around her too.
Mm-hmm.
I just flirt because I like to flirt.
Well, hell, I don't want to insult her none, and she's a mighty fine lady, but I don't know. And Walter then he kind of has a moment where he thinks, and you see him fiddle with something in one of his pockets, and he goes, on second thought, I need to think about some stuff. I'll see y'all later. And he kind of heads toward the house, and you see him fiddling with something in his pocket. Liam, you recognize this as the pocket that he slipped the monocle into.
And that the three of us are playing tag.
Found you.
Right. Okay, if he's not here, my axe will not hit him when I throw it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Liam, you kind of realize that Waya's version of tag is to swing his fist and see if it makes contact with something.
Once Liam's feeling confident, I'm gonna throw an axe at him and see if he's obfuscated enough to dodge the axe. Well,
Okay.
I mean, wait. I'm thinking of the move that makes him disappear from the mind's eye. Different move, not obfuscation. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, because if he does it in front of you, you definitely know where he is, and you're just cheating and chucking an axe at him.
And to be fair, we're kind of aware that we're playing, and I'm aware that Waya is using his axe, not his protean claws, which would actually cause ag damage.
No, I will be poking you.
A lot of I'm gonna get hit with a lot of the back of the axe.
Yeah. Gonk, gonk.
Dodge.
dip, duck, dive, dodge, and I forgot what.
All right. Well, while you chuckleheads are working on that, I'll say Noah and Adele, give me a perception plus investigation roll to try and find somewhere that's open. Perceptigate, yes.
Standard difficulty, right?
Four.
I got 6.
Noah, a backwoods town like this, you're quickly realizing probably doesn't have a very strong artisan district. And so there's not really a professional glass blower in town. However, you do think to go to the local trading post in town that is actually still open since it's only about 7:30 at night. It seems like out of necessity, this was one of the businesses that are still staying open even during the sickness, so that way people can do what kind of shopping they need to do, as they don't really have a lot of other options of places to go. You go in and there's a bald gentleman with a little bit of hair on the back, graying, kind of looks like his mid 50s, wearing a cloth over his face, as he's sitting there, and you see him in his shop, and you suspect that maybe he might have what you're looking for.
Well, hello there. Good evening, sir.
I assume that you have Mask of a Thousand Faces up.
Yes, I hopefully would by now.
And Adele, did you spend for the Blush of Health? Then just go ahead and mark that in your thing of the blood expenditure.
Always.
Oh, well, hi there. How can I help you?
I happen to be running a small experiment at home, and I'm looking for small glass vials. Any about only an inch long.
Well, that's not specific, but I'll go ahead and check and see what I got. High or low?
I'll take high.
Yeah, I think I might have a couple of things like that. One of them book learning types, he came in a little bit, and he was getting rid of some of his stuff his daddy had, and here, and he brings out from behind the counter, there's about 4 little glass vials about the size that you're looking for. They're not completely identical. You get the idea that these are different. They actually look like different test tubes. They're slightly different sizes, but they're around what you're looking for.
These will do perfectly. Thank you, my good sir. How much do I owe you?
Well, for the lot, I'll give it to you for like 2 cents.
That is a done deal. I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, stay safe out there.
Hard to do in these times, but I will.
By the way, as you come in, he's kind of doing one of these. Sniffing around a bit, but you're used to it. So anyway, okay, you got 4. You can add that to your inventory. 4 small glass vials. Adele, you got 4 successes. Unfortunately, Antoine's is not open. However, there is a clothing shop where you see some lights still on inside.
I would like to go there.
You walk in and you see a woman in a blue dress. Decent looking, definitely not high fashion, but for the town, I'd say above average. And it seems that she luckily predominantly deals in female clothing. You see a couple of the mannequins, and there's a couple different dresses and stuff on there. Again, nothing that is normally your caliber of like the really fancy stuff that you would wear to a super formal event, but definitely they have, it seems like one half of the store on one side is the more how do I put this? What the average woman would be wearing at this time, like house dresses and stuff like that. The others would be things for maybe like a dance or something like that, something a little bit nicer, a little bit more fancy, a little bit better fabric used, a little bit more work with embroidery and beadwork and stuff like that. Well, hi there. I was just about to close up shop, but if you know what you want, I can help you out real quick. Try and get home.
Well, that would be lovely. I would like the couple outfits of the very best that you have, as well as, this is going to sound weird, something else that would be comfortable to do activities in, like running.
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 What are you running from, girl?
Commitment, her future.
Responsibility.
I told you. Then you have to run too, and you would mess up your lovely, lovely face.
Well, now you got me all curious.
Oh no.
By the way, she is an older woman. She's about 5'3". Looks like she's in her 70s, if not 80s. Hair done up kind of in a nice bun. Glasses on her face. And a little bit skinny, but she's looking, and she just looks like she's caught the scent of some good gossip, and this is very interesting to her.
You got Chatty Cathy.
I haven't been able to see most of my friends lately because of this dynamic disease, but you know, if you need a girl to talk to, and she kind of looks at Noah behind.
Oh my god.
Is who you're running from?
No, not him. I can easily take him. I wouldn't need to run.
I don't know. You would want to take him anywhere.
I can't hear you, but you can smell me.
Oh my god.
Snap.
Sir, if you don't mind, I believe this is the young lady is looking to do some business. If you wouldn't mind just waiting outside, the disease and all, we're trying to keep numbers down inside.
Oh man.
It was worth it.
That's so funny.
Oh, I love it.
I'll wait outside, but only because me and the horse got more in common.
Oh,
I
man.
believe that. Is that your father?
He's a member of the group I'm a part of. We're a weird sort of family, you could say.
Ooh, I know about that. My one cousin, I swear to God, he smells like every pig he's ever met. And don't even get me started about Uncle Lester.
Run away.
Oh my god.
I know, just cousins can be weird, right?
and then they get into the moonshine, and then they start talking, and oh my lord, girl. Now what are you running from? Do I need to get the sheriff?
I like running in more of a metaphorical way, not literal.
You may need a better cover story.
So you want clothes for metaphorical running?
Not actual running. I just find it's easier if I'm wearing pants because I love riding horses and I don't kill nobody. Sometimes I prefer to not ride side step. I can go faster.
Honey, you
Thank
better
you.
be careful about going a little bit too fast, if you know what I mean.
Oh, certainly.
Oh, to be young. All right, girl, I can get you situated. Do you want something custom done, or are you looking to just buy off the rack?
Well, I think right now I'll just buy off the rack, but now that I know that someone as amazing and kind as you, and funny, might I add, I will come back for some custom work.
Oh, flattery will get you everywhere. You shop around, you find she picks out about 3 different dresses, 2 more formal ones. Again, not super formal in your normal circles, but for what you get is still something of a backwards town in the middle of Texas. It's formal for like when they have dances and things like that. And then she gets you some riding clothes. She is able to find you a pair of trousers and a blouse that is made from a much thicker cloth material that isn't abrasive. It's not like it's uncomfortable by any means, but it's definitely looks like it's a little bit more for function rather than fashion.
Well, these are all wonderful. I'll take them all, and I have money, like so.
At this point, most things are easy enough for you all to purchase. So well, girl, thank you for coming in. And if you ever want to come in and maybe just talk a little bit, you know where to find me. Come in during the day. It'd be good to see you.
I'm usually so busy during the day with various chores and errands and but evening, how late are you usually open?
I usually close up around this time lately with things going on the way they have been. Used to stay open a little bit later, but
Oh, perhaps if I need something custom, would it be all right if I sent you a note ahead of time asking if you'd be free on a certain evening to work a little later? I can certainly pay for your time.
sure, no problem. I'll even come by your place and do a fitting.
Oh, I really don't mind coming out this way. It's much easier for me. I'm usually doing other things right nearby.
Well, all right then. She seems a little put off that you didn't extend an invitation.
You wouldn't want to come. You wouldn't want to come to the house anyway. It's filled with a bunch of stinky boys.
What kind of boys?
Oh boy.
Hopefully not more like that feller that you had in here.
Dandy ones.
Not exactly, but boys of all different flavors. I will say that.
So she now thinks you're a fast woman living with a group of men.
You're telling this to a gossiper.
And her type is lots of flavors.
She is looking you up and down, and she's definitely remembering your face.
I'm certain I can read this on her face. So I'm just going to lean in and go, I know what you're probably thinking. My virtue is still intact, so I'm not waiting.
Whatever you say, honey. You have a good night.
Oh my god.
So you make your purchases. You guys make it back. If there's nothing else you want to achieve tonight, then I'll say go ahead and Liam, you, Atris, and Waya play a good game of tag, working on your obfuscation and things like that.
Were we able to get a third mark from the cipher so far?
If you guys check in with Henry, he's like, okay, remind me, what do we have? What do we have so far? I'm sorry, I'm trying to stay awake.
No, I understand. Hold on, let me get my books. Let's see. I have first one here is follow the moon as she rests for the night. This will give you the first marker. And second one, upon the shoulders of the grandfather, follow the mother's tears to their source. Right now, we're assuming grandfather is that mountaintop that we were looking at that's rather flat, and we think mother's tears to their source is possibly a waterfall leading to the mouth of that river that before it falls.
Yeah, I think I did find something.
Now, my friend, I know that you were working tirelessly, and I appreciate it, but you do need some rest at some point.
I can rest when I'm dead.
I mean, that can be arranged.
We all know how well that worked out the last time. Follow the brothers' cry. In darkness there will be light.
Sounds like a secret tunnel.
So it seems, well, it seems like that's your third clue there. That's what I've gotten so far.
No, this is absolutely helpful, but I would really, I'm well aware of how much of a workhorse you are, but you are no good to anyone if your brain is broken because you haven't rested well enough.
Well, I guess I can get a couple hours sleep.
Are Henry and I alone right now?
Bartleby's in there. Remember, you guys don't exactly have a mansion. It's kind of a one-room thing with a loft up above. So Bartleby's around.
Bartleby, could you just go upstairs for a moment?
Sure, master. Yes, I suppose. And he heads up the stairs.
I just kind of get my ledger and write down the portion of the cipher that Henry gave me. I just kind of lean in to the side of Henry. He's like, look, I don't know what game you're playing. I know we've talked about this before. As long as whatever secrets you're keeping do not endanger myself or the people that are here, I won't pry. But if that becomes an issue, we will have a problem. Have a good night, Henry.
Good night, Liam. Liam, give me a perception plus awareness roll.
Ooh, 3 successes on that.
You feel as you turn your back to Henry, the hairs on the back of your neck stand up a little bit. And you glance over at him, and for a split second, you swear that he has candles obviously going so that way he can see what he's working on, and you see his shadow against the wall, and for a split second it almost seems to like something else is standing behind him, and then you blink and it's gone. And you can't tell, was that the chair, like the shadow of the chair that he's resting against, just kind of how shadows stretch and blend when they hit other surfaces, or was it something else?
And I just proceed to leave. Bartleby, you can come down now.
Right. Glad that was useful.
I'm sorry, do you often question why I tell you to do things?
Constantly.
And that's why I like you so much.
All right. I will say the rest of the night goes without much incident. Y'all sleep. Waya, go ahead and make your nightmares roll.
Okay. Oh wow! I think this is quite possibly the worst roll I've ever done.
Oh no! How bad?
There are 5 ones here. This is real bad, guys. This is real bad, guys.
Like it's literally just 5 ones. Like nothing's canceling it out.
There's a 2, a 1, a 4, a 1, a 1, a 10, a 1, a 1.
Reroll the 10?
Reroll the 10.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
It's real bad, guys.
I mean,
Oh, it's
had,
another 10.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
is this the roller coaster of a lifetime? It's a 4.
So
that's
-3?
That's
triple botch.
triple botch.
Okay.
Nightmare roll.
A triple botch is not as bad as a
Centuple botch?
centuple botch,
and-
but it's
and I
still
just-
really bad.
Yeah. I'm stuck in the nightmare, guys. Help. That's gonna be today's episode. You're gonna come in the nightmare and save me.
Oh hell.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Way is fucked, man. He's so fucked.
This took a U-turn.
Your conversation with your sire is weighing heavily on your mind. You're thinking hard about what he said, and while it was good to hear his voice again, it also brought back memories of who you were and how you saw yourself the last time you saw him, and how different that is from how you're currently feeling. When you last saw him, you still had this hope and this feeling of this moral high ground, and that you were going to use these abilities to help those in need and be the savior of the innocent and not let others suffer as your people had suffered. But everything you've been through, you don't know if you can be that person, or even if you want to be that person, if you could. But at the same time, talking with your sire and him reminding you of the creature that you fought in your early days, you know what the other side of the fence is if you allow yourself to go too deep and too dark. And just the two sides of this argument are just weighing on you very heavily. And as you let unconsciousness take you, you wake up. And you are in a dead wood. The trees are barren. They long, spiky branches are almost looking like a spider web above you, with moonlight coming down, and there's a fog bank coming in as the light is hitting it. And it feels cold. You haven't felt cold in quite a time, and this cold almost seems to seep through your skin and deep in. You're kind of walking around and you call out for if anybody's nearby or Sonoy or anything, and there's your voice echoes and you don't hear any response, and it is unsettlingly quiet. There no animals, no crickets, no anything. It is, you hear a little bit of wind coming through as the branches are creaking and scraping against each other. And suddenly you hear something in the distance. And you look and you go through the trees and you're going and you're looking and you almost hear what seems like something calling you. It's not specifically a voice, but you feel something calling you, and you're getting closer and closer. And as you break through these dead trees, you're noticing the sludge, and it's the black sludge from the Elder. And you realize you're in the corruption and the desolation. And you break through and you see suddenly your vision changes and you're in front of the mines in Taylorsville. And as much as you don't want to, you feel yourself being pulled down into those mines. And it becomes darker and dark, and suddenly it's a preternatural darkness where even your eyes can't see what's going on. And you feel yourself going deeper and deeper and almost being outside of your body as you're crawling down deep, and it's almost a suffocating darkness. You start getting claustrophobic and getting antsy and trying to look for some way out, some exit, like a caged animal, and you hear a voice. Who's come to learn, come to play. It's been so long since we've had someone to play with. What does he want, Mother? What does he want? What do you do?
I want to leave. I want to get out of there. That sounds scary as fuck.
You try to leave as you feel your feet almost getting stuck to what you can only feel as this thick sludge that goes up to your calves. And you feel it starting to burn. And he's trying to escape. The little mouse is trying to run. And you see two eyes in the darkness. Disease, pestilence, famine, war, death. What will the little mouse do when they ride forth, Mother? What will he do when we ride forth? Tell me, little mouse, do you know what it is you really seek?
An end to this.
That's funny. Do you hear him, Mother? The little mouse has jokes, yes. We want an end to it, too. We are the end. She is the end and the beginning. There is a debt to be paid.
what debt to be paid?
An old one, an ancient one, the first debt. Tell him, mother. Tell him. But he cannot hear your voice. He has not learned your words as we have. Oh, shall I teach the little mouse how to learn your words? What would you like to try and do, Waya?
Oh boy, holy shit, this is scary. I guess my only option. I, mm, hmm, I got nine. Like, hmm, I'm going to. Do I have my axes? Do I have my equipment?
You have all your stuff with you.
I am going to try and grab one of my axes and throw it at the eyes, I suppose. Throw it at this person laughing at me.
Okay. Go ahead and make a dex plus your normal axe throwing roll.
Yeet that shit.
3.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage plus 2 dice.
One, two, 5.
You throw it and you hear it make this inbound noise as it's almost like this wet impact. And you hear drip, 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 drip. He does know how to speak your tongue, mother, but not enough. Let us show him. Can't let my siblings have all the fun. As suddenly you look down and the sludge starts crawling up you, almost like venom status kind of thing of crawling up, and you feel it burn. Look at the little mouse pretending he's a man. Let's show him what he really is, mother. As suddenly, normally when you transform into your wolf form, it is a painless process. It is a smooth, fluid-like motion. You feel burning in your entire body as you feel your bones and muscle structure specifically cracking, and it's almost like when someone's trying to reform their like body reconstruction of purposely breaking their bones in order for, as you feel your body shift down, you feel your fingers curl in, claws extend, you feel the fur starting to, that in itself, any contact with your flesh at all, it's like every nerve ending's on fire as you feel the fur begin to rip through the skin. Power. That is what he seeks. That is what he wants. He tries to deny it. And you feel this pain, and in this searing, horrid pain as your body is forcibly being cracked and broken in thousands of places in order to form into your wolf form. You feel that other presence. You feel the burning, not from the pain, but from the hatred, the hunger, the And you feel that, and suddenly in this excruciating pain, you hear a voice, a female voice. If the depth that the elder's voice resonates with is a lake in which the water is so deep that you can't see the bottom even if you dive down, this is the ocean. This is looking up to the universe, to the night sky, and trying to fathom how far it goes. You are a speck. You are a hair on the back of a flea in the universe. And you hear a female voice, beautiful but and firm, but there's something that draws your entire body to how almost like a biological fear, and you feel even the beast inside you, this thing that you've been arguing with for so long, cower. This is the first time you have seen it really, other than in the face of fire or something like that, really, it wants to hide. It does not want to be here. It wants to pull away. Oh, child of the Dark Father. Now you know how to speak with me. Consider this your first lesson in pain. And know a little bit more of the path I've walked. Waya, you wake up. You are in front of the fireplace.
Oh shit.
It is dawn. Luckily, all the shutters are closed and everything else. There is a lit fire in the fireplace, and your hand is currently inside the flame. You take 2 ag damage that you cannot soak. And you pull your hand out as it is a burnt crisp where the flesh has started to crack and break, almost like a log that's been left in the fire for long enough, just as the dawn's slumber causes you to pass out again, and you pass out on the ground.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
So y'all wake up. Waya, you're on the ground. Everyone else, you come to. Spend a blood for waking up. Atris, where are you on your blood level currently?
I'm only 2 points down.
Okay. I need you to make a note that the next time you get down to half to give me a heads up.
Okay.
No reason.
Yeah, sure, no reason.
Waya, you wake up on the ground with Bartleby and Henry standing over you, and you just hear them talking. I don't know. I just found him this way. Well, get him up. Get and the two, and then they see that you're waking. Okay. You hear Bartleby. Oh, yeah. I need you to be careful. Be easy for just a second.
What? What's going on?
Henry speaks up. I was hoping you could tell us that. We found you here by a fireplace that we had to put out. And, well, I don't mean to alarm you, but your hand is very badly damaged.
Yeah, I'll like raise it in front of my eyes. How does it look?
It is black and looks even worse than 3rd degree burn. It is, again, vampires are very susceptible to flame. It looks charred, almost like charcoal kind of thing. It is a shriveled, withered bit of a hand. And if you try and move it, there is searing pain that goes through, and the flesh continues to crack more to the point where you become afraid of the fingers falling off.
Well, I, ow. And I'm gonna kind of just like help myself up off the floor and then sit down and stare at my hand. Do I remember waking up, or do I just remember the dream?
Well, you remember.
Okay.
It's coming back to you in flashes of kind of like when someone is jolted from consciousness. But yeah, you definitely remember.
I remember I had another nightmare, and there was the elder guy talking to me, and he said uh something about the black ick, and it was like covering me and hurting me. And then I heard a woman's voice said she was going to teach me a lesson in pain, and then I woke up next to the fireplace.
At this time, I'll say everybody else can start to file into the room. By the way, Sonoy is there right next to you, and you see the door is open, and there are these giant scratch marks on the door. And Henry kind of looks at it and goes, yes, it seems sometime during the day he pretty much almost broke the door down to get in to you. And you see Sonoy looking very concerned and being right by your side.
I'm surprised he didn't break the door down, to be quite honest with you.
It wasn't from lack of trying. If anyone here is bloodbound to Waya.
Just Walter.
Okay, so
Walter, yeah.
Walter is definitely like there too. What's wrong? What happened?
I just the nightmare, and it seemed like I was almost mind controlled or something. And next thing I knew, I woke up in the middle of the night next to the fire with my hand in the flames.
Why'd you do a thing like these are getting worse? Like this is the worst one.
This is the worst one so far.
So you all come down and you see Walter, Henry, Bartleby, and Sonoy surrounding Waya, sitting down on the couch as you're looking, and Waya just has this charred husk of a hand.
Whoa, Waya, what the fuck, Waya? What did you? I'm not okay. Stupid question. I know it's so stupid. I know you willingly did not put your hand in a fire, but how did you put your hand in a fire?
I woke up from a nightmare with my hand in the fire. Long story short, the elder talked to me and said some things, and then the black ick got all over me, and then I heard a woman's voice say it'll teach me pain. And wouldn't you know it, I woke up with my hand in the fire.
A woman's voice. What kind of woman?
The girly kind?
It was like calm and assertive. Nothing. Not a voice that I've ever heard before.
Walter looks like he's pretty deep in thought, which is a new one for him, but it seems like there's a little bit of a flicker of recognition on his face.
Well, I presume that hurts quite a bit.
It sure does.
We don't necessarily have that much time to have you heal that. And I just reach into my bag. I think one of these might be appropriate, and I hand him one of the 4 Vitae vials.
Yeah, I'll grab it from him and say, "That's fine. You can take mine out of my saddlebag. Mine's in there." And I'll undo the top of the potion bottle, and I'll drink the potion bottle.
Okay. Try and remember how much that one heals.
I have it right here.
Wasn't it 8
I
blood
want to say
points?
No, I've got the listing right here. So it's heals 1 ag or 2 lethal or 4 bashing.
Oh, okay. So just straight up 1 ag. Okay.
Mhm.
You taste it, Waya, and it is sweet and warm and extremely delicious to the taste. There's a little bit almost like a spice to it. As you look down at your hand, and it still looks very badly as suddenly color starts to come to it as it travels. You actually see the veins carrying the vitae as it like is pumping in through, and from the wrist up through the hand you see a little bit of color start to return and get some mobility back. I will say it still looks like a 3rd degree burn, but a 3rd degree burn looks better than like
A charred husk of a
a
hand.
charred husk. Like you were Anakin, and now you're just Two-Face.
Oh
Like you
Wow.
know, like
I love it.
Nice.
So I will say with your left hand. Sorry. I did say left, right? Correct.
I can't remember.
I want to say it was the right. but I
Anything
could
you
be
try
mistaken.
and do that involves that hand is going to be at a +2 difficulty until that heals.
For left.
Mm-hmm. So like any climbing or anything that involves having to use either both your hands or specifically the left hand, it's going to be at a +2 difficulty until that heals.
You guys are ready for a while.
Yeah, we do have another vial. We actually have 3 more.
Well, I know what I will be doing all day today. As I sit here and nurse my hand back to health.
Well, you are going to need some nutrition to help support that healing.
I am gonna need some blood, that is for sure.
Were there any assholes in town I don't like?
I mean, to be fair, you're kind of the asshole in town. Like,
Yes, but human ones.
oh, if you need to, have a meal, I can bring someone.
Well, in
Who
that
is
case,
that? Who said that? Henry?
Walter.
No, that was Walter.
Oh, Walter. Sorry.
Sorry, I'm wearing like 3 hats here.
Yeah, I was about to say sorry.
Now do
It's hard
Josephine.
to jump between and pick them all
You're just wearing one hat. It's on your head.
up. Stacks on 2 more invisible hats.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I would probably go out and hunt one myself, but
Don't you worry about it. You just you sit there and I'll be back real quick. And Walter leaves. I'll go ahead and help him and
well,
Bartleby will go with him.
nice. Yeah, the nightmares are getting worse. This is for sure a problem.
True, but even still, even in a nightmare wouldn't necessarily compel you to go stick your hand in an open flame.
Well,
I suspect
the only other
something.
time,
Oh, sorry.
I said the only other time we experienced mind control was when Waya and I went on the train, but that was when that fucking Knox had taken control of us.
Did it feel like coming out of a NOS mind control? Since I've had that feeling before when I woke up during the dawn.
It definitely came across, not specifically like a NOS flavored one, but it's definitely,
Definitely felt like a whammy.
yeah. And to be fair, it wasn't the NOS that whammied you; it was the Shimisi,
That's right. That's
because the
right.
Shimisi
She
has,
wouldn't know.
yeah.
She's just pulling out of
Yeah,
it.
I forget things.
It's like one
You
or the
have
other.
experience, especially being around Liam for a long time, him using and talking about the discipline of dominate. Um, the only difference about this was you were asleep, which meant that this was during the day. Most vampires sleep during the day, so most effects wear off. If you even remember correctly from when you guys were controlled on the train, once the dawn broke, the control broke. That's why you were able to snap back and get out of there before you guys turned to ash.
Yeah.
So for something to be able to control you during the daylight hours, that's a whole new level of shit. And as far as what it felt like, you don't know. You literally were having this nightmare, feeling this pain, which even as a dream felt real. And then you woke up and your body was in front of the fireplace with your hand in the fire. And then the dream pain ended and the real life pain of your hand being in a fucking fireplace kind of took over.
Yeah,
Right, you can go to Brent.
it wasn't like being mind controlled. And usually that can't happen during the day anyway.
Well, just out of curiosity, from what we know, the creature that's inside the mountain, or at least that creature that's controlling Noah's clan, is not physically there, but seeping power in through a door. And they've used the phrase mother quite a bit. It's entirely possible that wherever this creature is, it's either in an area where the daylight and night cycle might be different, or it's so far below ground that sunlight can't necessarily affect it as much, and it may be able to control it that way. But that's just me guessing.
It was definitely a creature I've never heard before. And to be able to deliver pain like that on during the daytime, this unbelievable.
It must take great power. Not only that, but I'm so surprised your beast didn't expel it once you were even close to the fire, let alone your hand being in it.
Oh, should I roll a frenzy check?
Nope. It seems like normally you probably would have frenzied, but given that it was the daylight, you fell to unconsciousness before the beast could actually do anything. And like I said, it seemed like the beast was trying to take control of the situation, but was being quelled by whatever this stronger presence was.
The beast had no control over this entity. Or at least in the time I was partially awake, there was no, I didn't feel like I was out of, go out of control like we do. It was just wake up, fire, then knocks back out again.
Oh, that's what the longer I'm around you guys, the weirder shit happens.
That's kind of why I stick around, Atris. Society living gets boring. At least this is fun.
True, but I'd not have long distance pain where you don't necessarily know where anything's coming from, and you can't predict when it's coming, except in your nightmares.
Well, like I said, I had no issue giving you my vial. If you want to keep yours and get that healed up, that's all yours. I'm fine with that, but I know Walter's bringing you something to eat. I'm wondering, though, if our little wolf friend's message got across and if we might be getting a reply this evening. I'm hopeful.
As am I.
So is anyone else doing anything right now?
Good to know that I can die in the middle of the night in a nightmare. Like, what if I walked into the sun instead of a fire?
Oh, I think that was intentionally done.
Well, well, yeah, but what's the chances of that happening again?
I mean, if you almost burned in a fire, then judging by the scratches on the door, I'm assuming Aegis can see the scratches on the door.
We're gonna have to kill Mother.
That, I mean, I'm all for it, but of course, Source, we need to know where she is.
About as you guys are having this conversation, I'd say about 30 minutes later, Walter comes back with a guy who looks like he's just beat to shit. Like the guy's unconscious, like he has 2 black eyes, missing teeth, dirt all over him. Look here what I found. And he throws it in.
Did you find him like that, or did you have to beat him like that?
Didn't have to, but consider it a perk.
Atreus, I'm not sure how much of a chef you were in your previous, life when you were human, but sometimes meat just needs to be tenderized.
Yeah, it coming.
I was about to say.
Well, I'm not going to question that.
Hopefully, you didn't just drag in some average Joe as I get up and move.
No, I don't even think his name is Joe. Nah, I caught him trying to steal from the people that were in the church there, trying to get all fixed up, and him trying to go through their belongings and everything. So I figure he probably had it coming.
Oh, scavengers,
Good.
lovely.
Crime still prevalent, wonderful. We got at least find some scumbags.
Stealing from the church. It's pretty low.
I mean,
Liam just thinks to himself, stealing from a church. Might try it sometime.
I mean, you guys probably have in your time. Like, there's probably been a couple of robberies that you've done. And even Walter speaks up and goes, yeah, and when we do it, I mean, at least people aren't sick. They're stealing from the church and they're stealing from the sick, but stealing from sick people in the church is just a line that you don't cross.
We pick better people to steal from.
Write that down, Barnaby. Sick church people is the line we don't cross.
Wasn't the mission part of the church at some point?
There's a church at the mission.
I don't know. I'm just. Well, I hope.
There's a distinction with Inquisition.
So what are you going to do, Waya? Are you going to use a second vial, or are you going to drain this guy?
Nah, I'm going to eat this person, dog.
Yeah.
You guys watch as Waya just goes. At this point, Bartleby and Henry kind of take a couple steps back, and
oh yeah, I'm gonna be like ferocious about it. Like I'm fucking like a savage animal getting a meal after like a long stretch of not eating.
The guy kind of wakes up for a second. You know, and then...
But yeah, it's gonna look a little violent against what Waya would typically do.
Yeah, you start going at him.
Goodness, we don't have carpet.
Yeah, blood gets everywhere. How much blood do you want to take from this guy?
I'm taking it all. He's dying.
Okay. All right, yeah, you get 10 points of blood.
And how many do I need for ag again?
5.
And I'm getting 10.
And you're gonna have to spend the rest of the night, like literally doing nothing other than focusing on willing that blood to flow into your wounds and heal. It's not like a Deadpool Wolverine thing where it's like,
oh
instant.
Yeah, I'm chilling.
Ag damage is like it's not something you can just do reflexively, like with lethal and bashing damage. You actually have to focus on the Vitae healing you.
Oh yeah, I'm out for the whole night essentially. And then I'm gonna pull back after like aggressively feeding on this guy, and I'm just gonna like start breathing super heavily and just being like, well, that's better.
Boroby
All right,
goes,
should we put?
I'll start digging the hole.
So, does anyone remember that part in Scary Movie where they run over the guy and they're like, "Hey, should we check his pants? What? Well, he may have some money. We already committed murder. May as well rob him." That's what I'm doing.
I was about to say, there's no need to dig a hole. We have Sonoy. He'll deal with the rest.
Chew toys.
Is he gonna eat the bones too?
I'm sure he can bury them.
We gotta play fetch with him somehow, David.
I mean, he is a dog. I mean, family dog. You know, you get it.
Sure, but I wasn't sure how fast we want to get rid of the remains.
He's a wolf dog.
And a ghoul. He probably has a good appetite.
Yeah. So
If Waya goes to sleep underground, hugging a teddy bear full of bones, who's to say it's supposed to come back up?
no,
Well,
what are you talking about? I don't sleep with bones, you weirdo. Aren't you a gravekeeper?
Would you just like that shovel?
I sure do like this shovel, though.
Just for funsies, though, I'm just because we haven't done yet. I'm just gonna tell Noah the stories of our interactions with the Undertaker, who seems to clean up all of the bodies that we leave behind during mass murders.
Sure. Do you actually want to roleplay that out, or do you just want to say that you cover all?
I do. Oh no, that reminds me. Delightful fellow tends to well, he seems to always know where we are and when there's a rather large amount of cadavers left behind. No name so far, but we keep referring to him as the Undertaker. Large carriage that definitely fits bodies, and blonde gentleman tends to wear all dark, ravens circling everywhere, which is kind of nice. You know, you leave a corpse out, you come back an evening or two later, it's just gone.
Very clean and efficient.
I mean, it's a good service.
Sounds like an admirable man.
The nice thing is that if you want to summon him, you just have to send out a raven.
Where does one get a raven?
I don't know. Sorry. What do we have in the air? Ravens, crows? It's some sort of blackbird that looks in my soul.
I was actually.
I know we've looked this up
always...
in what would. I think we said that crows would be the most common. Ravens are migratory.
Yes.
So it depends on the time of year.
Okay.
But no, so if we ever have a we ever have a rather large cleanup, we have someone for that.
Glad to know he takes exception.
A job is a job. Although he often appreciates when the deceased are of an interesting nature.
May I ask, what is the cost of this service?
So far, we have yet to be billed for any services. He seems to really relish in taking the bodies.
And my
Whatever he wants to do
is, yes, that.
Yeah, whatever he wants to do with it, it's his business.
I just recall there was a very unfortunate casualty from one of our adventures. And he showed her great respect in taking her.
Sounds like a man after my own heart.
Liam just checks like, no, still have one. Okay.
By the way, Liam, you check the body, and you find about $300.
Wow.
A couple of different pocket watches of various quality, a couple of rings, some brooches. It looks like this guy was just from the sick, that when they were taken out of their normal clothes into like their sick clothes, that he was just rifling through and stealing anything of value. So Waya's healing. Walter goes, "Oh, here, Sonorik, come help me with this." And he is dragging the body out. There's a big blood stain left behind, and it's kind of smearing as it's being dragged out the door.
I suppose we should. I don't want to have to clean that up. Can we get Bartleby to clean that up?
We can.
Yeah, please. I don't want to have to clean up blood.
Bartleby.
This certainly seems like a lot of work for one ghoul. I'm amazed you guys don't employ more.
You made us at an awkward time with fire setting.
I'll get to work. And you see Bartleby go, and he's going to get some water from the well and start to cleaning.
Hey, thank you, my friend.
So, was there anything else anyone wanted to accomplish tonight? You're now 2 nights away from when Asmodeus has been said to arrive.
I will stare at my hand and heal it.
Yes.
If there are any projects finished, I mean, if Liam is still wanting more obfuscation trading, Nature's will offer it.
Definitely want to keep an ear open and see if I hear any wolves coming towards us, because I want to see if our message is being replied to.
Okay.
But other than that, kind of just checking in. Like, we don't necessarily need to roleplay this. Just checking in with Josephine to see how it's going. I will go to that little shop that Miranda went to. I will offer that old lady a dance.
Miranda.
Oh, sorry, Adele. I'm sorry. My brain is not braining.
All right. So as far as Josephine goes, you see that she is indeed working. She has the blueprints out. She is sitting there, and you don't go too close into the forge because you get the idea that she's actually actively working on this. So the amount of fire that is in there would probably trigger a frenzy check. But she comes out and she tells you that she's definitely making progress, because she's having to sit there, and she says it's going to take her a little bit because she's making this. She's literally forging all the parts and assembling them from scratch, essentially.
I just let her know. I was like, "Oh no, thank you." Like, I'll go ahead and go into town and bring you some food to keep up your strength.
Well, thanks, Shug, and a bottle of whiskey wouldn't be said no to either.
Oh, absolutely, my dear.
So you go find this. You try and find the tailor that Adele spoke of.
Yep.
You see her getting ready to close up shop. It's around that time of night.
Ma'am, excuse me. I apologize. I do not mean to stop you. My cousin was in here the other night, Miss Adele Verito. I'm not sure she mentioned, but I am, for the most part, her escort and her great family member. And she told me what a delight you were for company. If you don't mind, would you like to have a little bit of tea?
Did she? Did she now? Well, sure. I could have a little tea.
Oh no, my dear. Just your presence alone would be the greatest gift I could have this evening.
Well, lead the way.
Well, now we are going back into your establishment here, yes?
Oh, fresh. All right. Well, we can go inside a bit. And she goes in and she starts putting a kettle on and everything.
No, I apologize. It has been some time since I have done this. Might want to remind me which hand goes where.
Which hand for what?
Well, I believe I invited you to dance.
I thought you invited me for tea.
Oh, we were doing them both. Kettle's gonna take just a few minutes. I figure once around the floor would be a nice touch.
All right. Well, she puts a record on, cranks the thing, and
Now, my lady,
she starts dancing with you.
I just wanted to come by and personally thank you for assisting my cousin. She is looking rather well in those splendid garments you provided for her.
Right. Now, do you live with her?
I do. I am her formal escort, yes.
She told me she lives with a whole heap of men. What do you know about that?
Well, a heap is a rather over-exaggeration, but we are a traveling group. However, we have established some roots here, but we do quite a bit of business, and we do need some strapping men to make sure that things get moved, and protection is always necessary.
What type of business?
Mostly working with the local smith that's here, Miss Josephine. Not sure if you met her yet. But I am one of the purveyors of the Silver Ale Trading Company, and so we provide items from coast to coast, mostly raw materials, and establishing the railroad that should be coming through here.
Well, that is a surprise. Didn't know she was so well connected.
I'll make sure to take care of my cousin in any way I can. She is by far the closest family member I've ever had.
Interesting. So you say you know the drunk blacksmith then? The one that's sitting there fighting all them boys?
She is a rather spirited woman.
Indeed she is. And she goes on to press you, and she's basically extremely nosy and is trying to get all up in your business.
Oh dear. Oh, you are indeed as wonderful company as my cousin did mention beforehand.
Glad you thought so.
Now, one of the other reasons I was stopping by was since you provided such tremendous service to my cousin, and since, as you said yourself, I am very well connected, this might be a wonderful establishment to do future business with. So I always like to come in and just make sure I meet the owner and see if we can, well, just have a nice conversation.
Well, I'm always looking for new clients and new business partners.
I thank you. Now, we do a bit of just this and that, mostly moving a lot of items, and usually have to take our carriage out. And sometimes we just need some spare garments that are a bit more tactile. You know, something that can keep up with the elements of the outdoors, wear and tear longer so that we can, survive in the harsh environment. And I would very much like for you to be able to supply us regularly if you could. Now, if you need anything, raw materials or whatnot, please do not hesitate to let me know. We can see what supply chain we can get to you.
Well, if you're willing to provide the materials, I would cut the cost down quite a bit. And if you want it tailored to all of y'all, I could come by and do a fitting and get y'all's measurements.
I thank you. Now, I know that times are very difficult, and I'm hoping they will get much better much sooner. But because of the issues going on, my days are, well, rather booked. But I do have some additional associates. A young gentleman by the name of Bartleby tends to run quite a bit of my errands. So if I need something during the day, I may send him your way. Is that all right?
I don't see that being a problem.
Now, is the tea almost ready, darling?
So you guys have your tea. She asks quite a few more prying questions. And other than that, the night goes fairly well. If there's nothing that anyone else is specifically trying to accomplish for tonight,
Yep.
You all go to bed. Waya somewhat a little you've spent the entire night, and by the end of the night you slowly see the burns starting to heal. You're getting a little bit more mobility in your hand. By the end of the night you're able to move it, and it seems healed.
Yay.
No,
The
the
brand
only
new
thing
hand.
the only thing I want to do is I would just like to look at Walter's wound and see if it's healed up over the last couple days.
Walter actually was too busy worried about Waya to really focus on that. But it seems this evening when he woke up, the wound had healed, where there's no open cut.
So it looks like you will heal. It's just going to take a bit longer. That could absolutely come in handy.
Indeed.
Well, I guess if we need to stab someone, this is a good thing to do it with. Although, don't know what it meant by hungry. If it's something's talking to Atris there.
I'd rather. I'm just over voices in my head. It just seems like I'm going more crazy than usual.
Oh, trust me, it's fun. They tell good jokes sometimes.
I'm still waiting for the sense of humor.
So, Noah, as you're waiting around with the group and everything else, you see standing out, I'd say quite a bit out from the front door, a small young girl with sandy blonde hair in pigtails on either side, in a simple dress, standing there with a very tall gentleman. And you know this to be Marianne, the one that was the second in command of Michael, and is still loyal to him as last you checked. And another Nos by the name of Bruno, who is kind of a bodyguard, also kind of plays the role of her father when she needs to blend into human society. And they're just standing out there, very poignantly staring in to get your attention.
Now, if y'all would excuse me, I do believe I have company visiting.
Liam just kind of looks
I'll
at the
make my
floor to
way
make sure the
outside.
bloodstain's gone.
Bartleby's just sitting there scrubbing it and getting it out.
I'll make my way outside. Give my introduction to Marianne.
Well, hi there, Noah. You want to come a little bit this way with me? I haven't seen you in such a long time.
Yes, ma'am. Now, what is it that you needed to see me for so far away?
They start walking, and as soon as they walk around where they're not in line with the house, she drops Bruno's hand, and Bruno, who's just sitting there silently, she goes, right, enough of that bullshit. So, and again, this is coming out of a girl that looks about 7 or 8 kind of thing. You know that in vampire society, it's very frowned upon to turn someone that young, just because they're never going to age, and there's a lot of physical limitations that come with that. But you know that she's almost as old as Michael is, and so she's at least a couple hundred years old. And well, I'm here with word from Michael that the tunnel is still being worked on, and he feels that in a few more weeks there'll be a connection from the mines to St. Angelo if things go uninterrupted.
Are they coming inside? Noah?
No, not yet. No, no.
Okay. I've got the couch ready.
Thank you. I apologize. Yeah, this is indeed very good to my ears. Can't wait to be connected back to my family.
What have you found out about them?
They do indeed seem to be a destructive force, capable of barreling through most problems in a way you wouldn't expect. But they are capable, and they do seem to actually deal with the problems in front of them. Although they do take a bit of time, I believe these are going to be trustworthy allies. At the moment, they are focused on handling the lupine threat around it.
Well, if they're gonna do it, they better do it soon. My informants tell me that the chief's son's gonna make a move on his father pretty soon.
Oh, snap.
I would sure appreciate if you would forward any messages sent from that informant. That would certainly help our prediction.
Sure, I think I can do that. Never
But
thinking.
soon sounds right. We've certainly got allies coming in from out of town, and they'll be here in just a few days.
So I hear. We better be quick about this. Clementine is getting restless. Something's got, I know, stuck in her craw and she doesn't want to let it go. She is convincing a lot of those that we thought were loyal to Michael to come over to her side. Damn traitors. We let this go on too much longer, it's going to be that much harder to get back our home from them.
Indeed. That does sound absolutely awful. I've recovered very little information since then.
Michael says it might not be safe for you to come home anytime soon. Clementine is making it that the only ones of us that can pass freely in and out are the ones that are wearing her little necklace around. Something special about them. And she reveals that she actually has one. I've had to make a very public showing of my disdain of Michael, and Clementine seems to think that I'm on her side. Same thing with Bruno here, and Bruno just shows his necklace, doesn't say anything. It also shows something of Marianne's ability that her mask of 1,000 faces, she actually doesn't look hideous. Like, she actually looks like a cute little girl. Like, you get the idea that there is a lot of expertise with that skill, that she's not an ugly human. But she says, if you want, I can have my informant reach out to you and let you know what they've been observing with the lupines.
I would very much appreciate that. And I did observe one thing coming back here from home. I did notice that there was some horse track leading over to the human settlement.
We think that might be Reggie.
Sounds about right. Dirty little rat. Moving among the rat.
Yeah, he definitely has a connection with the Elder, and he seems to be delivering messages to and from someone on the outside back to him, and he's allowed to go pretty freely in and out of the portal.
Well, up until a couple days ago, we were having all kinds of problems with some kind of connection to this town. We just had to blow a hole in the ground, get rid of a sigil or something, as I was told.
Clementine hasn't let me in on that little secret yet. I think she's still a little cautious because of my past connections with Michael, but what she's told me is that the Elder is talking with someone and they're collaborating, trying to see of a way to combine their abilities to strengthen their power. The Elder needs enough influence on this side in order to break through. Him on just one side, there's too much of a barrier, but if enough of his influence is on this side too, he can crack the seal and come on through.
Well, we'll definitely be fighting every inch and nail.
Be sure you do, because you know our kin ain't gonna rise up and fight unless they think we have a good chance of winning. You have to go ahead and fight off these lupines. You do that, that's something to talk about. That's something we can bring to the rest of them and maybe think that we have a fighting chance.
I think we will accomplish this. We certainly have lots of plans in action, and it seems that my team is not willing to completely exterminate, but to relocate our problem somewhere where it won't be a problem no more.
Well, that's good enough. You kill just one of them, and that's enough that we can spin a tale around that. You might not hear from me from a little bit, but I'll send my informant, and I'll check in with you again when it's safe to do so.
Well, my gosh, if you need to spin a tale of one lupine being killed, I happen to have walked into the room shortly after one of my companions had ripped the inside out from the middle of a lupine, in the middle of a frenzy.
Well, that is something, but I need something a little bit more closer to home so that way I can have some proof.
Indeed. And I certainly want to actually solve the problem rather than just tell a tall story.
Well, we'll see what we can do. I'll be in touch when I can. And then in a very loud voice, all right, Daddy, let's go ahead and get on home. Bruno just nods and
Farewell.
walk off.
I guess I'll walk back into the homestead.
Are they coming in?
No, definitely not. They're not the same type of guest.
I don't know why I bother cleaning.
Burlby just looks up at you and keeps scrubbing.
They're definitely cute on the outside, but they're not so ugly right on the inside. But I did recover some information.
Oh.
I was informed that the tunnels to Taylorsville will be completed in the upcoming week. Won't be too far off, I hope.
And definitely gives us a time window.
Oh, yes, of course. Grams of rats. What else
There's
did they help us?
also there's also an informant saying that the chieftain's son of the werewolf clan is about ready to make a move on his status, and that could spell for some drama.
Well, then it was a good idea, or then it's a good thing we sent him a message yesterday. Hopefully, we can connect with him soon.
We got him just in time. Wow, that's really quick.
And lastly, it was confirmed that one of our clan goes by the name of Reggie is passing messages from the elder to the outside.
Walter, sit.
You all know Reggie? You know where he is?
I don't specifically know where he is, but I'm sure that if you guys help my clan, they will help you track him down.
Uttering his name is like uttering crack and the worst cuss word at the same time.
And you all would be willing to sell him out to us?
Now, if it seems that he was working against the clan's own good, I would say that they wouldn't have as much of a problem if he didn't report back in.
Can't say I'm too surprised that he isn't making friends.
He's not even worth interrogating. We just really want to kill him.
I don't plan to let him slip through my fingers again.
Oh, that reminds me. Waya, how is your hand? Yeah,
How's it look?
looks good for crushing things again.
It'd be great for crushing Reggie.
Mhm.
I'll tell you, not much is gonna get in between me and him if I ever see him again.
To kind of punctuate this, you hear a crack and you look over and Sonoy's chewing on a bone of some kind that kind of looks like a femur. And you hear him snap it at the mention of Reggie, and there's a small...
Yes, as you can see, there's no love for Reggie in this building. Although I only seen him slip through my odd fingers, I unfortunately have no real attachment to him. I will let you all kill him, the way you want to. Sounds like you're all gonna want to set him in from them.
I mean, he's just a dick. Also, he betrayed us and set our old house on fire and stole all of our loot, and now he's working with this asshole.
So he's extra dead. Got it.
That's the idea. So, you guys get that information. You get ready to bed down for the dawn again. Waya, I need you to make another nightmares roll.
Oh boy, here we go. Much better. 5.
Not 5 ones, but 5 successes.
Oh, wait. 3. No, wait. 5. Sorry. Can't count 5. It is definitely 5.
Number, you thank the higher powers that you actually pass the day unconscious with no dreams or visions. Anyone who's down a willpower gains a willpower. You all wake up. You all spend a blood. Before you wake up, Liam. You your eyes flutter open, and you are back underneath that Star Rock cave with the drawings that almost seem to come to life, the large fire pit in the center. The fire is currently going, but the flame is almost like a blue color rather than and it's not triggering the beast. It just is there and is kind of warm, and it's a small fire going. And sitting across, you see the chief of the Lupines sitting there across from you, the older Native American man, still in good physical shape for his age, and he's standing and looking pretty poignantly just straight at you.
Well, this was certainly unexpected. I see you received our communication.
You're lucky that the right ones found it. Otherwise, it would have been a roadmap right back to you.
Quite frankly, we discussed it, and we've been hunted enough that we think our scent would have been tracked no matter where we were in the area.
Oh, trust me, they know where you are, but by my word, they do not approach.
Yeah.
You have given back a mighty gift. What is it you would be willing to forego this for to say to me?
It wasn't necessarily meant to be a sacrifice. It was merely the only way that we even considered we could possibly reach out to you. We have multiple common goals, or at least common issues that might be best to discuss. Right now, there is a very powerful creature that emanates from that silver mine, as you are well aware, but from what we have been able to find out, its physical home is not there. I know that there was a plan to overrun the mine, but there are those there who do not serve this master. Quite frankly, the tension is building to where all sides seem to be pointing at one another, and it seems that there will be casualties everywhere. The Inquisition was a thorn in all of our sides, and I appreciate what your son and his friends did to assist us with those soldiers, but we did, for a short while at least, have a common threat that we needed to take care of.
I can assure you.
Oh, yes.
I can assure you that what my son did was not to assist you, but to consider it his show of strength that allowed many others to rally behind him.
Oh, I'm well aware how politics works. But we have it under good authority that he is planning on usurping leadership of your tribe very soon before your time is done.
I am aware.
Now, we came into this area and we had a very nice conversation with you once before. And quite frankly, that has been a wonderful negotiation that we were able to commence. It is unfortunately time to see if we can negotiate again. Now, I know you're aware of the threats down in the mines, but the southern border of this state seems to have a very voracious group of our kind we call the Sabbat. If there is nothing here to stop them, they will run through this state like locusts and consume everything in their path. We don't want to have any war with you, and we most certainly know that your assistance when that threat comes would be most beneficial.
Go ahead and make a charisma plus expression roll.
Get him. Let's go.
What's that charisma?
just because I want to, I'm gonna spend 2 willpower.
Those willpower amigos.
Oh, F yes. Hold on.
25.
Not that quite that good, but okay. So with the willpower, I got 4 successes.
He stops for a moment. I have been through many wars and many battles. I do not hunger for more. In my later years, I wish only for peace. Not necessarily for me, but for my people. The other chieftains that are coming, they will not distinguish one from the other. These innocents that you say are in the mines, that are not involved with their elders' plans, or distinguishing between these people from the south and your lot here. But I will meet with you. I will hear what you have to say.
Oh, yes.
And as he looks at you, his 2 different color eyes, his one blue eye and his one yellow eye. If we can, we'll try to find a way to handle this together and deal with our individual differences later.
I very much appreciate it. Just one light request before you have to go. The messenger that we sent, if possible, can you at least see that he gets a good meal?
We do not judge or treat natural creatures poorly. It is our job to protect them. A word of warning. If you survive this, the thing that laughs knows you're looking for it. And those who you have allowed it to touch will be used against you.
It's unfortunate, but not much I can do about that now, is there? I'll have to take it as it comes.
There is something you can do about it. You and my son share more traits than he would ever wish to admit. I know the armor you put on to protect yourself. But know that armor has a weight, and if worn for too long can make one weak. Your friends that you've made, trust them. Trust them more than you have. They will be the ones that can break through and see the things that you are blind to.
Kind advice. I do thank you for meeting me here. I look forward to seeing you soon.
You'll know where to find me. And the vision ends and you suddenly get almost like a tunnel visioned roadmap of you see this cave, and you see a place and you see markings that are very subtle, but you see carvings in, and you instantly know where this is. You get like a directional sense and you kind of know where to meet him. Noah, you wake up in the middle of the night and are in a room that you've never been in before. It is a low cave that's only about 6-7 feet tall, about the size of, I would say, a small room. There's a dugout center with a smooth stone, and there's currently a blue fire crackling in it. And carvings, Native American carvings all along the wall. And in the flickering of the light, they almost seem to move. And standing or sitting across the way from you is an I would say mid to late 60s Native American man. Relatively toned for his age, but you can see the gray coming in on his black hair. And the odd thing is you definitely notice that his eyes one is blue and the other one is yellow. And he stands and he sits across from you.
Well, I'm not too sure how I got here. How are you doing?
We have not had the pleasure of meeting in person before. I am Murakoto. I lead the people here. I think your kind knows us as lupines.
I think I'm catching up to what this is and who you are. What is it that you wanted to talk about?
We have a similar goal, you and I. You desperately wish to save your people. And I wish that mine be saved too. I know that your people need a sign, something to help them believe they have a chance to survive this. I do not think I will survive to see my people free. I know some will have to die. I just hope that when the time comes, you'll distinguish the innocent from the guilty. As you would wish people to know the difference between those that serve the thing that crawls and are just trying to survive.
Well, we definitely aim to make that distinction.
You're not here right now, Atris.
Sorry, I dozed off like for a second. I kind of don't know what's going on. I literally dozed off for a moment.
That got me. I was like, wait, Atris is here?
No, like I
That's a
I
Doctor
dozed off for a
Strange
moment,
moment where she just pops up.
Yeah,
kind
that
of.
one got me. I was like, wait,
Ignore me,
what?
I literally had dozed off for a moment, so I didn't know if it was an open action or not.
Just her face, though.
I definitely didn't want to interrupt them.
Yeah.
Can you promise me that when the time comes, you will try to distinguish innocent from guilty and allow the innocent to flee?
Indeed, I have no qualms with your kind. I believe that we are just trying to not fear for too evil to be near us. And we are already in the midst of another.
And Noah, are you telling the truth that that's going to be your goal?
Yes, mostly. I'm not trying to eradicate the werewolf as much as I am just trying to gain my clan trust again that we are not in danger.
And are you telling the truth that you're going to try and allow the innocent to flee?
Yes.
Okay. He looks at you for a moment, and the light kind of catches his eyes, and he goes, "Then in that case, I shall give you a gift. When you face the thing beneath your home, the sins of one do not like to be brought to light. Show this thing that sins the light, and it will hide from it. That will give you an advantage."
Thank you. I truly hope that this will help us both.
Home is a precious thing. You are right to want to protect yours. And the vision ends. Beatrice.
Everyone gets a vision.
We'll try not to go off.
Same thing, same room, same blue fire in the center, same person across. Again, you have not seen this person before. You've only heard of them. But from the descriptions of what everyone told you, you have an idea of who this is. Beatrice.
Who are you, good sir?
One you seek to meet with. I'm Murakoto of the Star Rock tribe.
Oh, interesting way of conversation.
This is a sacred place. The stories of our ancestors are here. They teach us lessons still if we're willing to listen.
Oh, I assume you know our situation.
I know where we will meet. And we'll discuss what future there is to be had. Why do you stay with this group? What investment do you have in it?
I didn't have a mission with my own clan. Our goals are mutual at the moment. On the side, I do seek some enrichment for myself. Otherwise, it's mostly business.
The thing that you released into the world, the gift it gave you. Be careful of the hunger that comes with it. These comrades you have made, I think they mean more to you than even you know. Don't allow the hunger to consume you.
I'll keep that in mind.
There may be a night in your future that you wish that you had kept your clan's curse.
I would have difficulty seeing that, but okay.
There will be a moment of choosing for you. I have seen it. And when you have that moment, listen closely to the sound of your comrades. Their voice will guide you in the darkness.
Okay.
Be well, warrior. Be well.
As you as well.
The vision fades. Adele. You're in, again, the same cave. This is familiar to you as you are one of the ones that met with the chieftain before, and he is sitting there across from you.
Hello again.
Miss Spirito. Tell me, how has this life of adventure found you? Is it everything you hoped for?
It's
Certainly not boring.
No, you are indeed the star that you wished you could be. For there is someone that is very focused on you right now. You know who she is.
Can you tell me how is she still alive?
Chance, fate, the machinations of the heavens. She was picked up by those who find things that are thrown away.
That's what I thought.
She's waiting for the right moment to come back to you. And though you know it to be dangerous, you will be tempted. She has something on you that will be hard to ignore.
You know how long till she finds? Well, I know she knows where I'm at. But how long till she makes herself known?
My gift does not exactly give me specifics, only that I know she will make herself known. And she will come to you as a seeming friend, and you will want to believe her. And you'll have a choice to make, your past or your future. You cannot have both. And that light that you hold yourself to, that reflection that is so important to you, you'll have to pick one reflection or the other. And as he says the past and the future, like one eye glows and then the other.
Well, this was vague and only slightly helpful, just like last time. It was lovely. Well, thank you.
Then allow me this one gift. I've asked others this night for this. Allow the innocents free, as you wish you could have escaped. Your mother lives, or at least she survived.
Well, I can say we did already have, we did already let an innocent child not get killed at our hand.
You did. And the machinations of that have yet to unfold themselves. But it is not the end of your story with her either.
Mm-hmm.
If it pleases you to know, your new acquisition is also alive.
Good.
And for time purposes, you know that I think time period, your mother is not, wouldn't it makes sense that she's like alive right now, but you get the idea that she at least survived. Remember, the reflection we see and the one we want don't always match. Find the true reflection and be true to it. the vision ends. Waya,
Yes.
same thing. Same cave, same drawings, same blue fire. And you see the chieftain sitting across from you.
Well, hello. This is a much better visit than the one I was granted last night.
I'm sure.
Well, then hopefully this means that our attempt to reach out was successful.
It was. And I already told your companion, Mr. Duquesne, that I am willing to meet. And I've given him the location of where to find me.
Then you must understand that we do not wish for annihilation.
No, but you do not wish peace either. You have other masters to serve.
As sad as it is, I am a chained wolf.
How sad it is that you have forged many of the links of that chain yourself.
It's necessary for the moment.
So you think. And maybe you're correct. Maybe that just helps you feel better about your decisions.
It's hard to feel good about my decisions sometimes.
In truth, it's hard for you to feel anything these days. But I wish to know, do you see it as a gift or a burden, the feelings you once had, the care you put into the innocence?
Still a little bit on the fence about that one. I don't wish to harm them out of my way, but I am going to have to keep going.
If you could get it back, some of your old self, would you choose it?
Do you mean before not being able to see the sunrise?
Would indeed be a marvelous gift, but no. I meant that the man that stood before me when we first met felt more, cared more. The weight of his decisions weighed heavier on his mind and soul. But now you slip more. And as you watch, you see one of the drawings of a black wolf start to kind of move along the wall, its eyes catching the reflection of the light and almost like a metallic gold on the eyes as it's kind of like glaring as it's coming. You realize it will eventually devour you and everything you hold dear. Only you won't care because you will hold nothing dear. You'll wish for the end just so you can feel nothing. Or, and he looks to the other side of the wall and a white wolf starts coming across. You can choose to fight this. It will never be the end of the battle. It will be a much harder road for you. It will be painful in many ways. But you might like what you see when you look back in your reflection a little bit more. Which one would you wish to give into? The way of power and less pain? Or the one that might allow you to walk the path of a man for a little bit longer?
It's not easy.
Most important decisions aren't.
To be human again. Now that would be a treat.
Is that your decision then? Waya, child of Twin Hawk.
Not sure if it's the final answer, but it is definitely a solution.
Then let me help you walk that path while I still can. And the white wolf from the wall leaps from the wall and comes. And you notice, you know this wolf. It looks like Sonoy, but instead of being where Sonoy's fur is black, this glowing white with golden tipped wolf looks back at you, and you feel the presence of Sonoy, and you feel what you put into Sonoy, and you feel something familiar. It's a little bit of yourself, and you hear the chanting of your people and the voice of your grandfather and father. You hear the stories your mother used to tell you. You remember fishing and hunting with your people and weaving baskets with your mother. And the white wolf, this spiritual outline of Sonoy, almost see-through, with the gold dust coming off of his fur, presses into you. And as the vision fades, you gain 1 humanity.
Oh, word? Word? What? What? I didn't know that was possible like this.
And that is where we're going to end it for tonight.
Oh, man.
Waya got a gift.
Right? That was like a lore episode 2.0.
Seriously.
That was
All
a
right,
lot.
everybody at home, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you're watching, please like, subscribe, comment below, ask us questions, talk to our friends. We will post episode 49 and tonight's 79. I went back in time. Sorry.
Okay.
69.
So I did that while we were playing.
So 79 apparently just got posted, and 80 will be posted as well. We are still working on the other videos. Those who have been waiting for them, be patient, and we appreciate your existing patience. Miranda will be working on Adele's backstory one. We will also be doing the videos of the how we got to the point pre-stream. We're going to figure out XP and everything. And everybody, thank you so much for watching. We hope you're enjoying this as much as we are doing this. It's what's keeping us sane through all this. And until we meet again, keep your fanes and your wit sharp. And thank you for joining us on Tumbleweeds and Tombstones. Have a great week.
Bye.